in an important game like this. I want to see who's the next player to step up. And with his ability to drive to the basket and create opportunity at the foul line, that's what's going to help this team. And they're going to miss out on that.
Missouri wears the road black jerseys with gold trim, white piping as well, and white and gold numerals. Florida in the iconic white and blue and orange piping as Tamar Bates, the transfer from Indiana, right in front of us, kind of shimmies himself into a ready position, taps his heels a couple of times. And we are ready to go for Missouri and Florida. Quarterfinal number 3 in the SEC tournament. Josh Gray, Ruben Chinyelu, and Chinyelu wins it back to the Florida Gators. They go right to left on this opening possession. Walter Clayton Jr. with a jump pass high on the left side. He hits it to Richard. Now Condon backing in, left side of the lane. He turns, kicks it out to the right wing. Clayton, a shot fake and a drive. Foul line pull is no good, front iron. And the rebound tapped to the corner and out of bounds off of Missouri. It'll be Florida basketball at 1938. I believe the officials are going to talk that over. It looked pretty clear it was off of Mizzou. Yeah, it is Gator basketball. The initial point was to Missouri, but that was inaccurate. Good officiating crew, though. Terry Oglesby, Courtney Green, Jeb Hartness, and it's a baseline inbound. It's flicked to the right corner. Richard plays it through to Elijah Martin, the transfer from FAU. Now to Clayton, all SEC guard, driving and kicking. Right wing, triple in the air. Is a bullseye for Richard, and it's 3-0 Florida with the lead early.
That's how Florida is. They are a 3-guard heavy team that can make shots from outside to put pressure on the ball, and they're great at getting downhill.
Florida, tremendous three-point shooting team, top 50 in the country. We have a whistle and a foul and a reach-in by Clayton. We're going to see, it looks like it's on Gray for Missouri. And so Florida will take it over on a turnover here. 47 seconds in. It is the first foul on Gray, and they're not as deep in the post tonight with Mitchell out.
No, they're not. They don't have the inside attack, but with their guard play on the outside, I'm more worried about them guarding on the perimeter than what they have on the inside. There's not really a rim protector on the backside.
The officials are going to talk to Dennis Gates on that foul by Gray.
In today's game, that is considered an aggressive foul to the place above the shoulder, so it's going to be looked at, and it could very well be a flagrant one.
So as we see on the closed circuit on the scoreboard above us, it's a hand to the face. I mean, that's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down. If this is a Chiefs game, he just grabbed his face with his right hand and kind of raked across.
Without the helmet on, right?
Without the helmet on, it's a 30-yard penalty, you have to imagine. We're looking for excessive and reckless.
Yes.
Is the whole purpose here. Clayton reached in, popped the ball out, and now we're getting a closer view, and Tony's it's gruesome.
That looks like a wrestling move, so that's a move that I'm definitely going to warrant some free throws. I can see it happening.
It is officially a flagrant one as Jeb Hartness
upgraded to a flagrant one. Florida number 1 will shoot 2 shots. Florida ball.
Yeah, Florida's going to go to the foul line and get the ball here. So that's a big early foul on Gray. It's an early flagrant 1 foul on Gray as well. Clayton with a clean reach in. It was actually 2 hands to the face as we're watching again.
It was definitely 2 hands to the face, but big men hate when guards swipe up and knock the ball out of their hand. And that was just to let them know next time you try this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's not a great idea to do that over and over again. Free throw good for Clayton, left side lane, and the second one is a switch as well. So it's 5-0 Florida with the lead. And remember, in this first game between Missouri and Florida, Mizzou got out to an early first half lead of 24-14 at 10 points. So a strong start for the Gators here, who will have the ball on the right side of the court and flip it in for Condon, who plays it over his head for a running Clayton into the front court left. He'll drive to the left block, kick it out top of the key for Condon, who kills the dribble and tosses 2 hands for Clayton. Up to the foul line and above that for Chinyelu on a handoff. Here is Richard probing. Step back 3 right of the circle is Cash, and it's 8-0 Gators, 1:10 in.
Just again, one of those guys that can create off the bounce and pass it to him. He's a senior. He knows how to make shots.
He's got 6 early. Richard does 36% from 3 for the year. Hard drive from Bates. Bates down the lane, tries to spin it out wide, and it's out of bounds nearly to Jimmy Dykes in the ESPN area. He is not available for catching the basketball. And at 18:37 in the first, the Gators crowd, the band is on the right side. There's blue all over the place to the right side of the floor. The Gators are feeling good right now.
They are. Like I said, they have guys that can play with and without the ball, and that's the difference between most teams in the country is having 3 guards that can handle, pass, and shoot.
Condon, the young man from Australia, he finds Richard, who thought about triggering again. Now he fires 18 feet away. It's good at the right angle again. Will Richard is a volcano right now, and a timeout, Missouri. 10-0 Florida, 18-25 in the first. Will Richard might outscore Mizzou in the first half, the way he's seeking his shot, Tony.
He is. He's being aggressive, and when you have, a 3-headed monster with those guards on the perimeter, Richard, Clayton Jr., Martin, those guys can create shots at any point in time. The key is, for Missouri, can they stop them? Can they play good one-on-one defense? And they have one great defender in Robinson, but he can't stop everyone.
Right. It's Anthony Robinson Jr., the second, I should say, SEC all-defensive player, tremendous. But, when you've got one guy that good and Florida has 3 guards, how do you deal with that if you're Missouri?
Well, you got to hope that at some point in time they might try some zone, but not much zone because these guys can shoot from the outside. But you got to tell these guys they got to get locked in and guard one-on-one, because once you start helping off of these guys, it's going to open up the flooding lanes and they're going to be getting more threes from the outside. So it has to be containment, one-on-one defense.
Mizzou to this point has turned it over twice. They haven't taken official shot yet. I mean, at 18-25, they have no shots, and Florida is up 10. Caleb Grill is on the floor. He's the 6th man of the year in the SEC as Perkins sways the dribble between the circles, trying to drive left lane line. He's shut off by Chinyelu. Here is Grill on a bounce feed, top of the circle. He gets it right back, one dribble, toss it right wing, and a hard drive and a dunk opportunity is missed by Bates off a challenge from Florida, and the Gators streak right to left. Chinyelu into the front court, and he has traveled. He turned his back and he walked, and it's 17:59 in the first half. It's a turnover. The Gators did something wrong.
Yes, they did. As a big, you got to get the ball to the guard, especially when you're not comfortable handling the ball, and you can tell that the guards are trying to run up his back and get the ball.
Now here into the front court goes Perkins. He is hounded by Elijah Martin off a screen from Shaw. Perkins into the left corner. That 3 is in the air and no good. Too short. Rebound tipped around at the end line and out of bounds. It's off of Florida. And it will be Missouri basketball with 20 to shoot. 17:43 to go first half. The Gators, the 2 seed here in the SEC tournament, leading 10-0 in our third quarter final today. Inbound pass coming baseline right from Tony Perkins, defended by Martin. He'll play it in for Pierce, who lobs it for a fading Grill. He was flaring to the wing. It was a tough pass to catch, and he has to bounce it away, getting it right back from Shaw. Step back left of the circle. He's crowded out by Clayton. 7 to shoot for Mizzou in black. Bates hunting a shot right wing against Condon. Hand in his face. Shot is no good around and out, and a rebound foul. And it's going to go against the Gators underneath on the rebounding action.
And as you can see, they're chasing Grill all over the court. He's one of their top scorers coming off the bench, shooting 41% from the three-point line. He's an 85% foul shooter, but he's a great scorer when he catches the ball, so you have to pay a lot of attention to him.
3 of the 3s he made of the 6 against Florida the first time were like step back, man in your grill. Like, it was.
He has game. He has game. You have to pay attention to him. You have to know where he's at all times.
Bounce pass to Pierce, and he slams it down hard with a right hand, slicing through the lane on the bounce feed from Perkins. He got fouled as well, and the first bucket for Mizzou is a resounding one.
When a team is that aggressive, the best cut is the backdoor cut, and that's exactly what Missouri did.
This Mizzou team, yes, they had lost 3 in a row coming in. They won 10 straight in the non-conference before they got into conference play. Pierce puts it up and misses. It's a round and out, the rebound for Florida. 10-2 Gators, 17:09 to go first half here in Nashville as Clayton breaches the front court, moving right to left. He's defended by Perkins, now picked up by Shaw. He'll shove it with 2 hands to Condon, who whips it left-handed into the corner. Step aside 3, Martin right wing is good. Elijah Martin buries misses a three, and it's 13-2 Florida.
Another one of those guards, as we said, can create off the bounce, and also the sidestep is one of the new moves that the younger generation is using, and it's effective.
You see that so much now as Shaw jockeys the dribble in the lane. His shot no good for Missouri. Rebound down to the deck and a foul against the Tigers. Pierce was standing over the body of Chinyelu, the Gator, who had his clutches on the rebound.
Yeah, Chinyelu is a strong inside player. He rebounds the ball. That's his job. He's not looking to score, but he is a monster on the boards.
He's a big dude, 6'10", 260, just a wide body.
He's a grown man, Jason.
Yeah, he is.
That's what you want to have on the inside, someone that can box out and rebound and set great screens.
Whip it high into the right corner. Tough catch over there for Florida. It's caught by Richard. Now off to Condon between the rings. Two-hand bounce pass. Tough catch for Martin. He juggles, and it ends up on a pinball for Chinyelu, who scores at the right box. Somehow off a flipper, Florida gets a two, and it's 15-2 at 16-10 in the first. Low on the right side, Perkins. Power dribble. He elevates and scores. It rattles down for Mizzou. Tony Perkins with his first two, and it's 15-4.
Nice strong move. Catch the ball in the paint, finish through contact. And that's what it's going to take to get this Florida team off their scoring tilt.
Condon a turnover. Grill was trying to swoop in. Instead, he bounced it for Pierce low left, and he scores. 15-6 Florida. 4 in a row for Mizzou. 15:43 in the first. A lot of time left in this thing.
And I'm loving this tempo. Florida is controlling tempo, but also they're scoring at every opportunity they get. They passing out of the pick and roll, and they're looking for guys on perimeter, but they have the three guys that can beat you off the bounce and beat you back door.
Back cut right there. Richard rises, can't score. Two Mizzou challenges. Down on the deck it goes. Chinyelu in a wrestling match for it. And a tie-up will go to Missouri at 15:23 to go. Half number one. The Gators scorching hot, 10-0 at first. Mizzou has tried to bounce back. 15-6 Florida the lead in the 2-7 game. 15:23 to go first half in Nashville. This is the SEC Radio Network.
Sonic Radio. It's time for my favorite segment, Ask the CIO. Hey, caller, you're on.
Hi, a big fan. I used to think I could never love another burger more than my favorite. Then I tried the Sonic Smasher. With its tangy smasher sauce, melty cheese, and hand-smashed Angus patties seared to crispy perfection. How do I tell my favorite burger it's been replaced?
Easy. You don't. It's a burger. It has no feelings.
Sonic Smasher. Try it as a double or triple. Live free, eat Sonic. See menu for details.
In SEC country, the key to our confidence comes from having a goal.
Cover three. Ready?
And knowing just how we're going to get there.
8 seconds. It's plenty of time.
So in these pivotal moments, we come together for inspiration and a plan. Financial confidence in SEC country works that way too, when you and your banker get together to create your personal Regions Green Print plan.
I think that'll really work. Thanks.
So let's huddle up, because in an SEC world, we're the SEC Bank. Regions, official bank of the SEC, member FDIC.
Severance Season 2 is now streaming on Apple TV+.
What you all did 5 months ago was one of the most painful moments in the history of this company.
Our message got out. We're famous.
All of us equally, or one of us is like the star?
What did you see?
My Audi's wife was Miss Casey.
If you wouldn't find out what happened to her, I'll help.
She's still alive.
I want to see my wife.
You should have left.
Severance. New season now streaming. Only on Apple TV+.
SEC basketball is brought to you all week long by Allstate. You're in good hands with Allstate. By Johnsonville, reminding everyone to keep it fun, keep it together, and keep it juicy. And by the Sonic Smasher. Live free, eat Sonic.
Florida Gators with the lead, 15-6, 15:23 to go first half from Bridgestone Arena. The Gators cheerleaders on the floor right now, and it's been the Iron 5 so far for the Gators. They have not made a substitution. All 5 guys that started have played the entire first 4 and change, and that's the difference for Mizzou, Tony. If they can get into that bench, it's a pretty deep team for Dennis Gates in his 3rd year. We also have only seen them get to the foul line once to this point. It's been all Florida.
Yeah, like I said, they're missing Mitchell. He's one of the guys that can put the ball on the floor, create havoc, and get to the foul line. But Florida does a great job of passing the ball around the perimeter and making good plays off the bounce. But when you have the guard experience, they have 3 guards that are seniors. You know, how many teams in the country can say they have 3 guys in the backcourt that you can trust with the ball? Florida has 3 of those guys, and they can stay on the court because they keep each other fresh. One guy just doesn't dominate the ball.
Very much like this broadcast. I would say You also have two of the guys that have played together for a couple of years as well. You know, you could find a one or two seniors maybe, but two have played together, and then Elijah Martin, who was very unselfish at FAU, jumps in, and he's fit in perfectly.
And you know, Jason, it's really hard to simulate chemistry, and when you know you have it as a coach, you feel confident in your players when you put them on the court. I trust those guys, and that's what Coach Golden has with 3 guards on the perimeter. He can trust those guys.
Certainly, and now he's brought in Denzel Aberdeen, the junior from powerhouse Dr. Phillips in Orlando. He comes in to play in the backcourt along with Thomas Houck as well, the sophomore big man from Pennsylvania, and Micah Handlogden, who returned from a broken leg earlier in SEC play. It's Mizzou basketball to the timeout. Grill tries to shove it into the post. Tough catch low on the left side there, and they will try to dig in down low with Perkins, and he draws a whistle. Just kind of pivoting and grinding down there to get to the foul line.
Well, like as you stated, it's going to be a team that's going to put the ball on the floor. They're not just going to settle for 3-point shots. I think if you look at the different levels of scoring, the layup, mid-range, 3, the next level to me, the most important level is getting to the foul line, and that's what they have to do in order to slow this Florida Gator team down.
They are second in the country, Mizzou is, as Perkins with the bright gold shoes fires the foul shot. It's no good. It's 77% for the year, Tony Perkins. They're second in the country in free throw rate, meaning free throw attempts compared to field goal attempts. Number 1 lost in the Big South final, the Winthrop team from Rock Hill, South Carolina. The foul shot is good for Perkins at the right end. 15-7 Florida, a mini 5-0 run for Mizzou at 15 flat to go, half number 1. Clayton roaming to the left block, down the left lane line, kills the dribble, spins it out for Aberdeen, shimmying to his left. Grill gives him the right hand. He takes it. He probes into the lane, 10 feet away off a spin. He fires and scores. That was pretty from Aberdeen, 19-7.
And he's another one of those players that has improved and gotten better. Watching him play last year to where he's at this year, he's a player that can score off the bounce, and he can make shots from the outside.
17-7 Florida with the lead. 10-point game, 14-33. Here's a drive with a right hand and a score for Perkins, right lane line. He's got 5. 17-9 Florida with the lead.
He doesn't feel like anyone can stop him from getting downhill, and he's not worried about the perimeter backline defenders.
He certainly acts like it. I mean, he's willing to take on anybody. And we have a whistle and a step on the sideline by Richard, who was breaking down the back door. Courtney Green with the call on the near side at 14-16 to go, half number 1. This pace is likely to be kept up. Both these teams like to play fast, Tony.
They do. And when you get two teams that's averaging 80 and around 84 points, it means that both teams want to get up and down, shoot a lot of threes. They're not holding the ball. They're not trying to bleed the clock.
No, the shot clock operator is not going to have a very busy night tonight in terms of firing that horn. Here's Perkins stalking the perimeter, defended by Aberdeen. He goes between the legs and fires it off for Pierce high on the left side. Now up top, two-handed catch by Gray. He pivots, fakes a handoff, now does give it. Right side 3 for Cruz, challenge and an air ball and a shot clock violation. That perfect comedic timing by Mizzou, getting down to 0 on the shot clock after we talked about it.
Unbelievable half-court discipline defense, and that's what you want to play going into the NCAA tournament. Florida plays on that possession. And going back to the foul line, when you're shooting free throws, it slows down the team and also gives you a chance to set up your defense.
As they will here against Florida. 13:39 to go first half. It's a waist-high dribble for Clayton, who tosses near side left for Aberdeen. Mizzou showing zone here against the Gators. Clayton fires a 3 from 25 and cashes in. Wow! He was completely undeterred by the distance, and it's 20-9.
Player that has a lot of confidence in his game and range. You can trust in what he does with the ball in his hands. He's one of the best guards in the country.
That was out of nowhere, and he absolutely striped it. Up top for Mizzou, here is Pierce. Swaying the dribble off to the left side. Grill, shot fake. Now he shimmies into a drive, steps back into a 3 left wing. That's too strong. Offensive rebound low on the right side for Gray, kicking it out for Cruz, who pokes to the foul line, pivots a couple of times in his red shoes, and fires it out for Robinson, who is fouled by Aberdeen. That's the second for Aberdeen, who is wearing those Ecto Cooler or Grinch colored shoes. At 12:51 to go in the first half. It's 20-9 Florida.
Tell you what we've seen some really good defensive pressure on the ball. And both teams, like I said, they're going to get up into each other. They played each other before. They know what to expect out of each other. And it's one of those games where the team that defends and don't turn the ball over and guard the three-point line has a better chance of winning.
Florida so far is perfect from 3, 4 for 4. Low on the right side, another challenge shot for Mizzou. No good for Pierce, but a recovery downstairs for Cruz and a two-handed dunk for Mizzou at 20-11. Florida the lead. Gators into the front court left. Here is Urban Klaujar, the sophomore from Europe. Up top, here is Clayton at the right wing, and a whistle and a foul and a steal by Grill. They will slow the pace there. It is on Robinson. That's his first.
And what I'm seeing with Clayton Jr. is the leadership. That's the one thing you can't teach when you have players that are younger. Young players don't talk. Older players, because they've been in the system, they know what it takes to lead their team and get their players in the right position, and Clayton does an excellent job of that.
He's just got that quiet confidence as he crosses into the front court. Low on the right side, here is Hauk on a kickoff into the left corner. It is Klaujar through Hauk, sweeping down the lane, and he is fouled as he takes a tumble hard to the left baseline, and he will go to the free throw line. Urban Klaujar from Slovenia in his first season at Florida. Former soccer player growing up, and that might have drawn a yellow card off the contact.
Yeah, but what you've seen in today's game is from the 4-5, guys are skilled. Guys can put the ball on the floor. Not only can they shoot from outside, so it's changed dramatically when you close out to a 4-5, especially the ones that can put it on the deck. And, you'll start seeing the skill set of these players, and they've changed on pretty much every level of basketball.
Hauk makes the first free throw, the sophomore from Pennsylvania. Started a couple of games last year, mostly a bench player, as he dribbles a couple of times and fires and scores. 2 for 2 for Hauk. It is Florida 22, Missouri 11, 12:02 to go first half here in Nashville. Into the front court right. Here is Robinson. Couple of dribbles. He's hounded by Klaujar. To the left elbow. He kills the dribble. Bounce into the post, and it's taken away on a back tap. Clayton into the front court. Does a little juggling act. They whip it around into the corner. Klaujar on a kick. Right of the circle. 3 in the air and good again. Clayton buries this one. And Florida is still perfect from 3. 5 for 5. 25-11.
The ball was to the hop. It didn't get stagnant. It didn't stay in one player hand. Good movement and transition.
Bates has his shot blocked away. Here comes Florida right to left. Martin into the front court. Between the circles. He guns the 3. That's off the front iron. Florida can miss from the three-point line. Rebound Missouri. 11:15 to go first half. Left to right go the Tigers. Here's a shot in the lane for Bates. That's up and good. Tamar Bates scores his first 2. The transfer from Indiana. On the other end. Oh, what a dribble by Clayton. He dives in to score. That was brilliant from Clayton, and a timeout, Missouri. 27-13. Slickly down the lane to score.
Ooh, he's frozen right here. Oh. Well, I tell you, when you have handles, you can create opportunities for everyone on the court, and Clayton is one of the best in college basketball at doing that.
My goodness. Florida is overwhelming Mizzou. 27-13. The Gators with the lead. 11:03 to go. Half number 1. This is the SEC Radio Network.
Johnsonville asks, know why they're called sausage links? Because they have the power to link people together. Isn't that beautiful? I read that somewhere, or maybe I just made it up. But the point is, instead of stirring the pot on social media to drive people apart, let's stir the jambalaya or the Italian sausage rigatoni. And you just watch. Johnsonville sausage links link people, just like the sausage patties is a way people pat each other on the back. Okay, that I totally made up. But it's also very true. Keep it juicy out there.
Lobs it up in a right-hand jam. Have mercy.
You're listening to the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament on the SEC Radio Network.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we've spent 80-plus years in the business of fun. Expert fishing fun. Early morning hunting fun. Late night, need new cleats before tomorrow morning's game fun. Relaxing fun. Mouth-watering fun. So whatever fun adventure you're gearing up for, you'll find it for less at Academy Sports and Outdoors and at academy.com.
When it comes to action-packed highlights, there's nothing like the SEC. And when it comes to packing your game day celebration with deliciousness, there's nothing quite like Bush's Beans. As the official beans of the SEC, we offer big taste for every fan and every tailgate, even if it never leaves your backyard. Come to think of it, we're kind of like the power conference of flavor. So draw up that beautiful bean game plan and stock up on your favorites. Bush's, that beautiful bean company.
You know, sometimes it's very simple. Florida is 5 for 6 from 3. Mizzou is 0 for 4 from 3. The score 27-13. Florida over Missouri. 11:03 to go. Half number 1 here in Nashville. Tony Delk, Jason Benetti, our entire wonderful crew. Tim Bickford, Stephen Hartzell, Phil Brame, everybody here. And this Florida team, when they shoot it like this, I don't know who's going to beat them, Tony.
They're going to be hard to beat. And you know, most of it is, like I said, they're putting great pressure on the ball on the perimeter. But when you have those 3 guards, Richard, Clayton, Martin, those guys can make plays. They defend. You can trust them with the ball. And when they're knocking down threes like this, they are going to be tough to beat. But what usually happens is now you can't just live at the 3-point line. You know, they can get to the foul line. Those guys are great foul shooters. And that's what you like with your coach. When you have 3 guys at the end of the game, not only can make plays for you, but those guys can make foul shots late in the game. So it's a hard team to play against, especially when they're making shots early.
Scary part about Florida, too, along with that, I mean, you're talking about the other dimension they can bring. They're top 35 in the country in 2-point field goal percentage as well. They're really efficient down low in the paint, too.
One of the few teams that I can say when chased off the 3-point line can make either mid-range shot or get all the way to the basket. The mid-range game has been lost by most teams because they just want to either get to the paint or shoot the 3. And when you can teach your team, hey, we're going to get chased off the 3-point line, let's make these mid-range shots. You're not going to always be able to get to the basket.
You know, I mean, in the NCAA tournament, you don't get to decide who you're playing.
No,
right? So
absolutely.
If they're not going to give you the 3-point shot, you got to have answers.
Yes. And that's what I think Coach Golden has done with his team. He has a solution. Most coaches don't have a solution. He knows how to make the right adjustment. And going into this game, he said, hey, you know what? We're going to make some threes, but also let's put the pressure on them to stop us getting to the paint or just making a mid-range shot.
He played at St. Mary's for one of the really, truly underrated coaches in college basketball, Randy Bennett, who has done a marvelous job out there in California. But Todd Golden, year number 3, this is definitely a national championship contender. And most bracketologists will say this Florida team is playing for a 1 seed here as they have scored off all 4 Missouri turnovers so far. 10 points off turnovers at this moment.
I think it's a team that's warranted of the number 1 seed because of how they played all season and the competition and just where they're at right now.
There are like 4 possible 1 seeds in this league, really, if you break it down. As Shaw, top of the circle for Mizzou, hands it off for Robinson. He is just hounded by Klobuchar, just Velcroed to him. Now try and drive Chinyelu. Kick out left wing, 3 in the air for Warwick. That's good. He is just add water offense off the bench. The former Northern Kentucky Norse, who was the leading scorer in college basketball before this year. And now a takeaway, Warwick riding down the lane, right side lane line, and he lost it on the way up. He is fouled. He'll get 2 shots. 27-16, Florida the lead. 10:21 to go first half. Warwick was such a big-time scorer, and now he's coming off the bench, and he's handled it very well.
Yeah, it's sometimes you have to make that transition. It's different when the ball is constantly in your hand and you get a chance to put it up more than most teams, most players do. But with him, you have to make an adjustment. But he gives them some depth. It gives them a guard that can go out there and score at will without you running plays for him.
He bends the knees. He fires the first free throw. That rattles around and out off the rim and the backboard. 2,246 points at Northern Kentucky. 1,909 points at Henry Clay High School. He's the all-time leading scorer there. He's the all-time leading scorer Northern Kentucky.
He's a scorer.
Yeah, right? Like, shoot or shoot.
He's one of those guys that you just put him on the court and say, do what you do best.
That's right.
I'm not trying to, I don't want you to be a rebounder. I don't want you to be a pass facilitator. Your job is to score and get buckets.
Foul shot is good. He's not wearing 00, though.
He's not, but he seemed like he did a lot of great things in the state of Kentucky.
Absolutely. 28-16. 27-17, Florida with the lead. 10-12 to go first half, and a skip pass goes awry. It's out of bounds, deflected by Missouri. Off the end line left. It will be Florida basketball with 17 to shoot. Gators in the white, the home white. The winner of this game will play either Kentucky or Alabama in semifinal game number 2 coming up tomorrow. Inbound pass from Condon, lob to Chinulu at the right elbow, handing it back off for Condon, the Aussie. On a weave, handoff for Martin, and he is fouled by Aiden Shaw, the 6'9" Kansas native who went hip to hip with him, and the foul against Mizzou is number 5 for the team. Both teams team foul number 5.
And I thought it was a lot more physical last night, and I think the referees have made an adjustment with the teams, and but you want your players to be ready for all styles of basketball.
Inbound floated out for Martin. Tough catch. He zips it past Cloudjar. Left to the circle. 3 off the heel. Springy bounce in the air. Allows Condon to grab it for Florida. Out to Clayton. He pierces the lane. Kicks it left corner. And another foot on the sideline. This time Cloudjar standing on the sideline. He made the 3, but it didn't count at 9:54 in the first.
I've seen more players on all levels step out of bounds. You got to know where you're at on the court. Because one thing I know is when the ball comes, I'm not going to be out of bounds. I'm definitely going to be in bounds so I can get that shot off.
Are you checking? Like, are you looking before you catch the ball?
I think as a player, you automatically know where you're at. Not unless you're trying to, those corners are shorter. It's different when you're out on the top of the perimeter.
3 right of the circle. In the air is good for Bates for Missouri, and the Tigers are within 7 on the comeback trail at 9:30 to go in the first.
And they have a style that can get them back in the game. A team that shoots threes, averaging 84 points, so they're not worried about this lead.
There's a foul out high. It goes against Peyton Marshall. Mizzou going deep on the bench. I mean, there are legitimately 14 guys on this team who played in at least 16 of their games. Marshall is one of them. And they're also, we saw Phil Jackson do it in the NBA. You got 5 fouls sitting over there and as many bodies as you can, you use it.
Might as well use them. But also, guys that have been in a rotation. So he allows all his guys the opportunity to get out on the court. He's not one of those coaches that's going to play 6 or 7 guys. He needs depth in this tournament to win.
Into the front court left here is Florida with Clayton ducking toward the lane line, driving on Barrett, and he tried to put it up. It's no good. It's out of bounds over the end line, and it's going to Missouri. So the Tigers fans from Como here in the gold on the far side are feeling pretty good right now after trailing 10-0.
Yeah, you take on the identity of your coach, and Coach Gates is tough. He has his guys being physical, and you don't want to give Florida easy looks at the basket. So he told his guys just let's be more physical than them.
T.O. Barrett into the front court, dancing on the dribble. He finds Warwick, who lobs it into the paint low on the right side. Shot is up and good for Marshall. He's got 2. It's 27-22. Missouri storming back here in Nashville. And we have a whistle on the near side and a foul against Mizzou.
Marshall has a big body, so it's hard to get around him when he seals you deep in the paint. Guard saw him, got it to him, and nice little hook over the left shoulder.
It's a $25 Uber ride to get around him. Foul on Marshall is his second very quickly, and Condon will go to the free throw line. A former Australian rules football, cricket, and water polo player growing up.
Wow.
Water polo is not for the faint of heart, by the way. A lot of stuff happens under the water. Free throw is no good. Front iron, we have a lane violation, I believe. You don't see a lane violation very often
most
nowadays.
Times you don't. The officials stay away from the lane violation. It's like 3 seconds. You very seldom see a 3-second call. But I do like what the officials are doing. They're letting these guys play right now. So
I agree with you.
I think Florida came out with more intensity. Missouri has matched that intensity.
Took a second, but they did find it. You're exactly right. Condon, 3 dribbles, bends the knees. Shot is good. Nice correction by Condon for his first point at the foul line. 28-22. Florida the lead. 8:52 to go. First half.
And I like Condon. Condon is a skilled big. Put it on the floor. He can score. He can pass out of the high post. And he's great in the dribble handoff.
That's all that water polo time. Free throw, front iron, no good. Rebound knocked around by Houck. It goes down to Mizzou, and Barrett spinning it into the front court. Bates, a running catch. He probes from the right wing, and now he's shut off by Condon. He's got a head of steam back now, sweeping down the lane. His shot blocked away by Condon with the left hand. It's out of bounds over the end line, and Mizzou will have it with 18 to shoot.
As a guard, when you're driving on the big, you got to get your shoulder into him to create that space and then try to finish with the underhand layup. And Condon was there to block the shot.
When you see that big coming, How do you process that as a guard? Like, what do you know you have to do?
Well, first of all, you have to get your shoulders down so you can get by him. And then once you get by him, the only chance he has is to use his length. And you got to use your separation to get that, to create that space.
Barrett off the screen from Marshall. Hops down the lane. His shot right-handed, no good, too strong. Rebound weak side for Condon. Florida sprinting into the front court. Clayton feigned a shot. He tiptoed around and had it stolen away. Grill a breakaway, and he steps it home. Caleb Grill chars the Gators, and it's 28-24. Lob on the backside. Houck spikes it down. Oh, Dunk City's migrated north. 30-24, Florida with the lead. Here is Bates jockeying on the dribble. He pulls a shot right angle. That's no good. Rebound volleyball off the window. Comes down to Marshall. His shot is blocked. Saved by Houck. Here come the Gators. Right to left. Martin head down on the dribble into the front court. He gallops into Barrett. Turns his back. Wards off of Barrett. Here's Houck on a drive and kick. Martin a shot fake for three. Tries the right lane line. Gets it away into the post for Condon. That's punched away. Down on the deck goes Bates. Off for Barrett. Left wing three in the air. Mizzou is no good for Grill. Long rebound for Bates left of the circle. He's going to trigger a triple. That's off the front iron. And the rebound collected by Clayton for Florida right to left. Snake dribble into the front court. Off for Richard. Left wing three is good. Finally it stops. After a blitz down the court from both teams. And it's 33-24 Florida, 7:21 in the first. My goodness.
We're seeing the ping pong match back and forth. You like the tempo they're playing with. Both teams are getting down the court. There's not going to be a lot of holding the ball. Once that ball gets those guards' hand, they're going to make plays, get the ball out, get out in transition, and look for that three-point line.
Oh, really? Is that what's going to happen? Okay. 33-24, Florida the lead. 7:21 to go first half in Nashville. This is the SEC Radio Network.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm the old basketball hoop in your driveway, and I'm rustier than your game. I mean, seriously, I should have been replaced back in '99. So when you go up for a dunk, I slam down onto your car. And if you don't have the right auto insurance, you might have to jump through a few hoops to pay for this. So get Allstate, save money, and get protected from mayhem like me.
Savings vary based on coverage selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You're listening to the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament.
Wants to try another three. He'll make another three.
On the SEC Radio Network.
And if you want to grab a snack, grab a Farm Rich snack. Something about that song just makes me hungry. Well, any requests? Oh, how about some mozzarella sticks instead? Folks, it's time for me to grab a snack. Feel free to do the same. You can find Farm Rich in the freezer aisle. This next one goes out to all the cheese lovers out there.
On Southwest, everyone can change or cancel their flight without a fee. I mean, this solo travel queen, extra day on vacay. No fee, baby. And these two lovebirds get one more.
So, they're with me, Ma.
Well, this poor guy can bail on the bachelor party a night early.
I'm tired, man.
No change or cancel fees. For real. That's a big flex. Only at Southwest. Fare difference may apply. Failure to cancel a reservation at least 10 minutes prior to scheduled departure may result in forfeited flight credits.
(33-24) Florida the lead. 7:21 to go. Half number one in Nashville. Florida cheerleaders on the floor in the blue and orange pom-poms, and quite the Florida crowd, but you can't really tell because the Kentucky fans are filtering in too.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to the blue of Kentucky.
Yeah,
sprinkle in with some orange. Your Syracuse orange is sprinkled in there. So
yeah, don't try to curry favor after the shot you took earlier. Florida is 6 for 8 from three. I'm hesitant to ask who the pace helps, because I feel like both teams have a good reason to like it. But it seems like the open floor with Florida's ability to shoot.
Yes.
It's difficult in Mizzou's defense to recover.
I think it's in their favor because guards going to get out and run. And what Florida guards do an excellent job of, and probably don't get enough credit for, they rebound the ball. You got guys averaging 4 rebounds at the guard position. That means those guys know to get the transition started. I get the rebound, everybody runs. So it's a different different style that most teams don't have because they rely so heavily on their bigs. But Florida relies on their guards to rebound so they can push the pace.
That's a good point, and it's why Florida is such a good offensive rebounding team, because the guards are involved in that, right?
They come back and rebound.
So the Gators by 9, 33-24. They're trying to protect a possible 1 seed somewhere across the country when we get to Selection Sunday in a couple of days. Obviously, a win of the SEC tournament guarantees them a 1 seed. A lot of bracketologists say Auburn is going to be the 1 seed overall no matter what, with their pedigree and profile. And we saw Janai Broom do what he does earlier today as Barrett trots into the front court for Mizzou in black and gold. He's watched by Clayton. Up to the high left, back to Barrett. They'll play through Pierce, the slender big man who two hands a pass up top for Barrett, picking his way toward Martin, who backs away from him. 6 to shoot for Barrett, dribbling to the right elbow. On a spin, he'll fire and score. That was pretty from Barrett.
Great defense, better offense. Shot clock was winding down, and you need 2 or 3 out of your team that can do that late clock, and they have.
Barrett with that shock of hair behind him. 3 in the corner, Martin for Florida. Baseline left, no dice. Rebound, spiked out of bounds off the floor to Missouri at 6:35 to go. First half. This is why Gates has been such an agent of this turnaround. They just never have fear.
Well, also, he'll throw different junk defense at you. Just right there, coming up, the trap and get the ball out of the hand, the pass of the head, and see what other guys can make plays. Because when Clayton has the ball in his hand, he can create or he can make a shot, but you got to get the ball out of the best ball handler hand, and that's what Denny Gates did on that possession.
Especially with the way Clayton and Richard came out of the shoot here. Martin missed that 3 as we have a brief stoppage. The official is talking to Dennis Gates in his suit and tie. He's still having a long conversation in terms of how distant the conversation is and the length of the conversation, too, as Mizzou will come left to right into the front court. Perkins with a right-handed dribble. He sways it back and forth like a pendulum against Elijah Martin. At the center court logo, here is Perkins pushing off of his defender, Hand-Logden. Now the foul line, it goes Gray, and a foul as they try to dislodge it. Hand-Logden did not like the call on Elijah Martin. Both of them put their hands on their head and then their knees, and the foul on is Florida's 6th.
I'm kind of surprised with Missouri setting those pick and rolls so close to the sideline that they have crap.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to do something early to see what a team will do as far as reaction, how they react to it from the trap or pre-rotation. But when you have a pick and roll set that close to the sideline, get the ball out of the point guard hand and see what other guys can make plays.
Would you mix it in later in the game?
I do something early. Send the message, plant the seed.
Marshall comes in off the big guy, sturdy. Big for Mizzou. He's got his elbows out, defended by Hand-Logden. Now here is Barrett again, probing down the right lane line. He's stopped by Hand-Logden. Tries to dump it off, does get it there, down low for Cruz, who digs down, fires and can't score. Right block, hit ahead. Here is Clayton hopping into the front court. He finds Houck, who dips in, puts it up, scores, and got a whistle.
Excellent job of getting out of transition, and you have to guard the lead guard that was out there, and that was Richard, who was out ahead of the field. And when you have that guard that's out running, it's going to create opportunity. So what Clayton Richard Jr. did a good job of is letting the play develop.
And as he did, Houck dove right down the middle of the lane. His free throw is no good to stamp the three-point play. And at 5:50 to go first half, it's Florida 35, Mizzou 26. Barrett leaning on the dribble with a high pass off to the post, the high post for Marshall, turning his back on Hand-Logden, handing it off for Barrett. Now pick and roll, got it to Marshall again. He lost it. He was pickpocketed. Here comes Florida right to left into the front court. Oh my goodness, Clayton went to the top of the mountain to spike it home with 2 hands.
Yes, he did. He went upstairs and caught that one.
He reached over his head. It was like 2 of him stacked on top of one another to slam it down as it's tipped in the air again from Marshall, who uses his burly body to ward off Hand-Logden for Mizzou. Left to right, the Tigers with the basketball. Here is Pierce trying the backdoor, looking to back in. Lost the ball over the end line. It's off of Florida with 5:05 to go. Half number 1. 7 to shoot for Mizzou, trailing by 11.
Yeah, they have a few players out in transition that can make plays, and that's the one difference with Florida. When they get the ball to any one of their guards, those guys know who to get the ball to. And like I said earlier, sometimes you got to let play develop, and that's when you have the leadership of a guard like Walter Clay Jr., number 1, in white.
And Rich, we talked about it playing together, yes, knowing each other. We just saw that in full force of that fast break. As Grill works his way open, up top, he missed and a rebound in the traffic jam down low. Looks like Atlanta at rush hour. And a shot coming, I believe, on the rebound foul against Florida. That will put Mizzou in the 1-1 here. Hand-Longton.
It's amazing Hand-Longton is back from the injury that he suffered last year at this tournament. Shows his resilience, showed he wanted to come back. He felt this was a special team to come back and play with, but he could have sat out the year.
Yep. A gruesome injury, too. The foul shot is good for Gray. I mean, a broken leg is nothing to sneeze at. And he was ready to go.
Yeah, saw his parents come down on the floor. It was bad whenever you see parents, that means it's something that's devastating to the player, but it shows the resilience and the toughness.
Free throw for Gray is short. We have another lane violation. We have a second lane violation in the first half. Is there an award for this? Can we?
Jason, hey, you know what? It happens every once in a while. I
didn't think there was going to be one. So I believe you, but I don't know. Free throw for Gray is off the front iron and through. Gray, by the way, is wearing one black shoe and one white shoe.
I'm trying to figure that out. Maybe that's the style that we don't know, that we're not accustomed to seeing.
Well, maybe it's his last name. Maybe he's trying to beat Gray. There's a takeaway for Mizzou to right into the front court. Gomez to sneaker. His shot, an air ball. Rebound for Houck, whipping it up ahead. Right corner drive. Richard flying down the lane. Shot no good. Off the window. Tipped in by Hand-Longton for 2. And it's 39-28 Florida.
Just that pass ahead creates opportunities for the big to get the ball off the rim.
There's Robinson feeling his way through. Right box layup is good. Just a snake dribble, amazing in for 2.
Yeah, just feeling his body, making sure you create the space, and once it open up, finish off the rim.
39-30, Florida with the lead in white. Richard high on the left side at the hash mark. Drops it off for Houck, who puts his head down, bounces it for a driving Clayton mid-post right. He whips it down low on the left side. It's caught by Martin, and he rises to score. Boy, close quarters, tough pass, and they got it done perfectly. 41-30, Florida. Into the front court, Robinson hits the deck. He fell to the ground, kept his dribble, but lost it out of bounds over the sideline in front of the sea of blue and the Gator bench.
Yeah, you got to take care of the ball. That's the one thing you see Missouri have done a really good job of, is not turning the ball over. Florida is aggressive.
Yeah.
Especially right there closer to the sideline. That's the best place to be aggressive at.
Florida 41, Missouri 30, grand total of 2 lane violations. We'll see how far we get. 3:53 to go first half. This is the SEC Radio Network.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we've spent 80 plus years in the business of fun. Expert fishing fun. Early morning hunting fun. Late night, need new cleats before tomorrow morning's game fun. Relaxing fun. Mouth-watering fun. So whatever fun adventure you're gearing up for, you'll find it for less at Academy Sports Outdoors.com.
You're listening to the SEC Men's Basketball.
Sonic, great. For my favorite set. Oh.
I used to think I love another burger more than
Older like me, the CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Florida with the lead over Missouri. 3:53 to go first half. Tony Delk, Jason Benetti here courtside at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. Florida, sometimes you look at the stats as you're doing the game and you see stuff pop by, and Florida opened 4 for 4 from 3. They're 15 of 21 from the floor. That's 71%.
Like I said, they're making shots, but they're making shots from the three-point line, but also they're getting shots at the rim. And that's the difference in how they're mixing up their scoring. They're just not relying on shooting threes. They're getting to the rim, they get to the foul line. And like you stated earlier, they have mid-range shooters. So they know how to score at every level. And I always say there's 4 levels: at the rim, mid-range, shooting the three-point shot. But can you get to the foul line and take the pressure off of making shots from the outside?
And they have done enough to not foul.
Yes.
So Mizzou is just 4 for 7 at the free throw line.
Only thing I see, only negative with Florida is they've turned the ball over too much.
Yeah.
9 turnovers.
Yeah, 9 on an average of 10.5 a game.
Yes. But when you play this fast, up-tempo, you're going to have some mistakes. But 2 was actually stepping out of bounds.
That's what you're going to lose.
Oh, I know.
I get the sense that you're going to just out because
that's
yeah. I'm shooting. Oh. You can't see it because we're on the radio, but you have a glow when you talk about shooting.
Oh, I get excited about it. Yes.
It's great. It's great. 41-30, Florida with the lead, and Elijah trotting into the front court. Rich in the back court with him, along with Klobuchar as well. High on the left side. He has it over the head, and he finds Chinyelu with a fake handoff. He was denied. Got it to Martin on a right-wing shot fake. He thought about pulling the trigger again. Instead, spins it for between the circles. 10 to shoot for Florida. Twin triple Rich. When the late closeout. He fires to score off the wing.
Took a page out for the book, score early in transition.
Yeah, no need for secondary break. Left. Grill. Left to right, Missouri. Into the front court. On Martin, and instead whistling out of bounds over the end line toward the Mizzou band. Florida has every right to be a little frisky in the open floor, but that just missed.
But also, when you look at a team that's already played, they're going to have a different feel on the court, but you can't throw that ball away. You have to get it and calm the ball down. But that's what Florida, they play fast up-tempo. But as you stated earlier, too many turnovers in the first half.
Yeah, turnover number 10 already as Robinson slowly leans over the dribble, running toward the left lane line. He steps back into a 3 in the air. That's off the bracket. Rebound, Florida. It's 3-on-4 right now as Clayton circles into the front court, gets to the mid-post, fires a one shot and scores. There could have been 10 Tigers. He was shooting that, and it's 43-32.
But what you see, his ability and skill set to navigate in traffic, and that's hard to do.
Just brilliant right there. Here's Perkins, high on the left side, foot on the three-point line, off to Bates between the circles. He stares at Condon, the big on him, slowly works the dribble, fakes a step back, now fires right lane line and scores. 2 for Bates. He just sized up his prey, the big guy.
Just a little hesitation there to freeze the big, and then you got to finish at the rim.
43-34, under 2 to go, first half. Clayton jostled, steps into a 3 anyway, right in the circle, it's good. An absolute clothesline that he buried, and it's 46-34, Florida, 147 to go, first half.
He's playing with a lot of confidence. He can handle, he can put you in the bind by putting you in the pick and roll, and he can create if there's a switch.
Did not need much space at all. Now Bates high on the right side, working off Compton again, lost the dribble, he wanted to step back. Instead, his pass turned over, intercepted by Clayton, running through gridlock traffic. He drops it off on the right side. A dunk attempt by Richard got stymied. But man, oh man, he was is going to pull the shot clock, the rim, part of the roof down.
Call that a body-to-body. He was going body-to-body to see if he could finish.
Yikes. Foul is on Gray. There was no shade of gray of what Richard was trying to do there.
And Gray was not going to let that happen.
They call him the horse, Gray, because he's strong, such a hard worker and so tough. As the free throw is good for Richard. He actually wore a mask like a horse at their media days. He's kind of leaned into the nickname.
Well, you look at his body, his physicality. What coach would want to have a back line defender like that? He's not giving up anything.
I feel like Dennis Gates has like 3 of those guys. Marshall's a pretty voluminous dude, too. The free throw is good for Richard. And Florida extends the lead to 14 suddenly again. 48-34. 1:20 to go first half. Rises. Anyway, foul. Incensed on the far side with Jeb Hartness. He thought that should have been a ward-off foul on Robinson. Instead,
what he did, come off the snake dribble, body-to-body with the guy, got the separation, finished with the contact at the rim, and that's what it takes as a small guard. When you get there, can you finish through contact and over bigs?
He did in a big way. The Tallahassee native, his free throw arches up and scores. It's a 3-point play for Robinson. 48-37, Florida the lead. They just kind of can't quit Mizzou right now. The Tigers around. From court at the angle, Clayton skittering on the dribble to a step back. Instead, he fires up top. Alku drops right elbow. And
you can't just try to come down to
On pace to score 100, Missouri gave up 90 or more points in 5 of its last 6 games in the regular season. Perkins to the left side, tip of the logo guarded by Urban. Right side between the circles, Robinson with 25 seconds to play in the half. Shot clock at 15. Robinson guarded by Clayton. Reached out, kind of grabbed him. Robinson lost the ball. Now on the court, trying to get it thrown somewhere. Just throws it up over the top of the backboard, out of bounds. Robinson saying that he was fouled by Clayton at the bump. And again, the physical defenders are something that really bother Anthony Robinson. Going back to what Boswell did against him in the Illinois game back in St. Louis in December.
Well, Will Richard, 6'4", he looks every bit of it. A lot of times you think they fudge the other way. To me, he looks every bit of 6'4" with his muscular frame, and he's a good defensive player.
That was Clayton, though, who bumped him.
Well, both of them. Yeah. Clayton as well is an inch smaller,
Deep
but also big.
3 seconds to play in the half is an air ball. 1.4 to play. Tigers trailing by 13 after trailing by as many as 14 early in the game. Cut it to 4. Gators have regained control. 1.4 to play in the half. Grill, one bounce from the free throw line opposite end, throws it up, and it's an air ball. Tigers will head to the locker room. Trailing by 13 in this, the third SEC quarterfinal of the day. Still to come, Alabama against Kentucky. But Florida is in control, leading 50-37 as we get a chance to hear from David Dickey Nutt, the special assistant to the head coach Dennis Gates. He comes over across the way to give us his thoughts on the first half.
Well, we spotted them 10 points. If you're going to spot the number 4 team in the country 10 points, you know that we have got to battle our tails off for the next 20 minutes to try to. But we're right there. We should be just 3 down. We're 13 down, but they're shooting 65%. They're a good team. But there's still 20 minutes to play. I think that we'll regroup and just play one possession at a time. There's no such thing as a 13-point shot. one possession at a time, and really try to get some stops. I thought our pick and roll down here was successful. So they're really trying to blow up the screens. We got to make sure we set harder screens and then make good decisions coming off those screens, and we'll be okay.
Thanks, Coach. David Dickey Nutt. We're back after this at the half. Missouri trailing 50-37 on the Central Bank Tiger Network from Learfield.
At MU Healthcare, our sports medicine team knows what it takes to compete because we're competitors too, upping our game day in and day out to be the best doctors for mid-Missouri athletes. Whether that's competing to be one of 11 orthopedic centers of excellence in the country or cheering alongside the Mizzou Tigers as their team physicians, we've got everything athletes need to be and stay at their best. MUHealth.org/sportsmedexperts because we're competitors too.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're here for all of life's wins. Like when you get a new car, or new boat, or new driver, or when your son moves out, but your mom moves in, or you find out you're expecting again, or when one rental property turns into 2, then 20, or you realize they're all in Tornado Alley. Life is full of life events. Make sure you have the right policy for each of life's wins.
I'm Mike Ward, your Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance Agent, and if you're in Boone County, I've got you covered.
This is your radio home for Mizzou basketball.
Missouri knocks off Kansas.
This is Mizzou basketball from Learfield.
Tail in your sleep? See tigers in the clouds? Never wear garnet and white together? If so, there's no better way to show your Mizzou pride than with the Regions Visa debit card and prepaid Regions Now card customized with your favorite MU photo. As passionate as you are about the Tigers, Regions is even more passionate about celebrating your every financial win and helping you plan for the next one. Personalize your card today at yourpicks.regions.com. Regions, official bank of the SEC. Member FDIC. Terms, conditions, and fees apply.
Come on. That was me, a proper internet troll, finally having enough, all because of slow, spotty internet. We've all been there. So switch to Brightspeed Fiber Internet. Its ultra-fast fiber and wall-to-wall Wi-Fi coverage have me throwing out likes and hearts like confetti at a parade. I love parades. Who knew?
Brightspeed Fiber Internet. Switch to the bright side at brightspeed.com/today. Limited availability in select areas.
This is the Center for Human Services halftime show.
At the half in Nashville, Missouri 2 for 11 from 3. Florida 7 of 14, and the Gators lead by 13 on the Central Bank Tiger Network from Learfield.
You could call it swagger. You could call it a vibe. You could call it confidence. You could call it cool. Or you could call it exactly as it is, Tiger Pride. Show your Mizzou spirit with the Tiger Checking Card, only from Central Bank. Sign up today at tigerchecking.com. Central Bank, strong roots, endless possibilities. Member FDIC.
So this is kind of personal, but the girl that I was with just randomly stopped talking to me. I had no idea why, and I just found out she was pregnant. Luckily, she found resources that helped her keep her apartment and helped make sure her bills got paid. If she hadn't found help, I might not have gotten a chance to be a father to my son. If you or someone you know is facing an unexpected pregnancy, there are resources for you to achieve your dreams and be a parent. Brought to you by Vitae Foundation.
Today's game is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Insurance for motorcycles, boats, and RVs. For protection on the road and on the water. See how much you can save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com. This is Mizzou basketball from Learfield.
Something big is happening at Hy-Vee. We've just lowered thousands and thousands of prices on thousands and thousands of items in every aisle and in every department. Online, too. And on many of your favorite products. We've even matched prices with some of the biggest discount stores in the country. Because we get it, times are still tough. So we'll continue to work hard to bring you new lower prices on thousands of items. Things are looking different at Hy-Vee. Come see for yourself.
The Club at Old Hawthorne is a terrific golf course with amazing practice facilities, which is why the Mizzou golf teams play here. Here's what you might not know. The Club at Old Hawthorne is a community with a welcoming environment that's a perfect fit for an active lifestyle. Golf, tennis, pickleball, swimming, and a fitness center with classes all at one club. The Club at Old Hawthorne. Visit oldhawthorne.com to learn more or schedule a tour. I'm Mike Kelly, the voice of the Missouri Tigers. How much do I love Old Hawthorne? I live here.
This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Missouri. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the university and Learfield. Announcers are provided by Learfield and approved by the university.
Welcome back, everyone. Chris Gervino courtside in Nashville, side of the SEC basketball tournament. And here tonight at halftime, the Florida Gators lead the Missouri Tigers by a score of 50-37. What a special halftime guest tonight is Missouri's Michael Schroeder, Senior Associate Athletic Director, Chief of Public Relations. He's new to Mizzou. This is his first field year. Michael, our first time to chat on the air. It's been great getting to know you. I hope you're enjoying Missouri. You've come from Memphis with Laird Veach. How are things going? And I'll let you explain all your responsibilities to our listeners.
Absolutely. No, Chris, thanks for having me. This is great. It's been wonderful being down here in Nashville, and Missouri's been fantastic so far. I got up here in July along with a couple other folks and kind of helped Laird build back his administrative staff, and it's been great group of people. We got a lot of exciting things going on, and kind of my area is a lot of our external units, so marketing, communications, ticket sales, broadcasts, a lot of the things the fans see on a day-to-day basis. So it's fantastic. It's never a dull moment. It changes every day, which is why I like it so much, but being at Mizzou's been wonderful so far.
Well, you certainly have a lot of responsibilities, as you just detailed, and what I find really interesting about you, among other things, is your background. You're at Western Kentucky, but then you went into minor league baseball and a team our listeners know a lot about, the Cardinals AAA affiliate in Memphis, the Redbirds. Then you worked for the Pacific Coast League in the front office of the league. How did that minor league baseball experience maybe help you and perhaps craft ideas for you back at the collegiate level now, first at Memphis and now Mizzou?
100%, Chris, and that's where I loved my time in minor league baseball. Spent about 5 years, 4 years with the club, and then one at the league office. And I think that's when I really started to hone in my marketing skills and kind of different ways to engage with the fans, right? Because when you play 140 games in 148 days, you have to just consistently be reinventing yourself. And, and the nature of minor league baseball is the lineups and the rosters change daily, sometimes multiple times a day. So you can't really market your players as much. You might have one or two guys. So it's about the fan experience, and it's about making your games an event. And so when I came back into the college level, I took a lot of those things, and I'm still kind of developing different ideas that I think, you can try different things and maybe some new things that people might not see at the college level a lot of times. So we've got a great group of people that are kind of buying into that mindset of making each game more of an event and the place you want to be 7, 8, 9, 10 times a year.
You are an idea generator, I would say, and I came to Mizzou as a freshman in the fall of 1984. It's been a few years, so I love the place. I know the place, and I keep thinking it still has even greater potential. And I suppose, no pressure, my friend, but that's where you come in a lot of ways, correct?
Absolutely. You're exactly right. And I think, I'm thrilled that Laird thought I could come up and help him as he's got the AD job here at Mizzou, one of his dream jobs. So one thing that strikes me right away, and I think it every day, is this fan base. And it's a fan base that lives and dies by the Tigers, which is exciting, and it really energizes you, and you can see things in real time that work or don't work, and you tweak this and you tweak that, and you're always consistently looking to grow, but it's a place where people care, and it's not always like that. So that's one of the things I really enjoy quite a bit, and under Laird's leadership, Chris, you're exactly right. I think the sky's the limit, and we have a chance to do some really special things.
It's great he's back. It's great he's brought you along with him. Our time is short here at halftime, but we'll certainly visit again sooner than later, hopefully. Michael, thank you.
Absolutely. No, thank you for having me, Chris. Appreciate it.
Michael Schroeder with us. He is Missouri's Chief Public Relations Officer, Senior Associate Athletic Director. Impressive title for an impressive guy. Stay with us, folks. Tigers with work to do tonight in Nashville, trailing Florida by 13 at halftime on the Central Bank Tiger Network from Learfield.
The passion
passion, the tradition, the rivalries. SiriusXM is your destination for all things college sports, and we've got you covered. On SEC Radio, there is complete coverage of every school in the conference, including live games, plus 24/7 talk and analysis. So cheer along on the SiriusXM app and listen to your favorite team anywhere. And now you can get 3 months of SiriusXM free. Subscribe now. See offer details at SiriusXM.com/SEC Sports.
Life is like basketball. Sometimes you're ready for the next play, and sometimes the unexpected happens. If you or someone you care about is facing an unexpected pregnancy, it can feel like they're stuck on defense. As a teammate, you can help them see their options and make the right moves. Whether it's happening to you, a friend, or a family member, let them know they don't have to face it alone. Take control of the game. Visit planschange.org today to find out more.
Brought to you by Vitae Foundation.
Today's game is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Insurance for motorcycles, boats, and RVs. For protection on the road and on the water. See how much you can save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com. This is Mizzou basketball from Learfield.
Lexus invites you to experience the inspiring capability, extraordinary power, abundant space, and everything that makes a Lexus SUV so, well,
amazing.
Get offers on select models at the Invitation to Lexus sales event, now through March 31st. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now, and the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
In select areas.
This is the Center for Human Services halftime show.
The Florida Gators lead the Missouri Tigers 50-37 here at halftime in the quarterfinals of the SEC tournament in Nashville. The Center for Human Services helps people of all ages develop skills to overcome physical, mental, and financial challenges across Missouri. CHS, your proud accessibility partner, providing sensory kits at every home game. Learn more at chsmo.org. The Tigers down 13 at the intermission. Our second half from Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee starts after this break on the Central Bank Tiger Network from Learfield.
The most powerful ideas come from understanding. By asking what's important here. At Great Southern Bank, we start by asking our customers to find out how we're doing and what they really need. Then we get to work, making banking easier and more effective, financing more flexible, and our communities better places to live. It's an ongoing team effort to keep improving how we serve our neighbors day after day. And it all starts with understanding what really matters. Learn more at GreatSouthernBank.com. Member FDIC.
Listening to your favorite basketball team battle it out on the hardwood court. When it comes to performance, teams demand the quality of real American wood floors, and you should too. But not just wood floors, real wood cabinets, millwork, even real wood furniture. Beautiful, durable, and timeless. Real wood is always the right choice. Learn more by visiting choosewood.com.
Today's game is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Insurance for motorcycles, boats, and RVs. For protection on the road and on the water. See how much you can save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com. This is Mizzou basketball from Learfield.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Find your Amex card and earn rewards on everyday purchases like points on groceries. See if you pre-qualify with no impact on your credit score. Learn more about our offers at americanexpress.com/check-4-offers. Your credit score may be impacted if you submitted application. Terms apply.
And even more. And like SEC fans, we'll never quit. Because in an SEC world, we're the SEC Bank. Regions, official bank of the SEC. Member FDIC.
Getting set for the second half here in Nashville. Missouri down to Florida by a score of 50-37. The Gators, two guards are really on tonight. Their starters, Will Richard and Walter Clayton. They're a combined 10 of 16 from the field, 6 of 9 from three-point range. Clayton has 17, Richard 13. Those two guys have scored 30 of the Gators' 50 points, and Florida leads Mizzou 50-37 here in downtown Nashville. Mike, Missouri's got a hole to climb out of.
Florida will have the ball to begin things. Robinson along with Perkins, Gray, Pearson, Bates get the start in the second half for Dennis Gates. And again, Missouri playing without Mark Mitchell. He wanted to play, wanted to go. His head coach Dennis Gates said, nope, you're not going to play tonight, to give him a full week before what could be Missouri's next game, perhaps, in round one of the NCAA tournament.
Well, unless the Tigers come back and win tonight, it will be their next game, and it will be either Thursday or Friday at a location to be determined and announced Sunday evening at 5.
Richard, Clayton, Condon, Chinelu, and Martin on the court for Todd Golden. Gators with the ball, 13-point lead. Clayton, right side of the key. Condon dribbles into the paint. Jump stop, puts it up, missed it. Rebound Pierce. Off the slip, he missed the easy jump shot. Bates, right side of the key. Pierce drives into the paint. Jump stop, head and shoulder fake, put it up, lost it. Knocked away. Last touch by Florida. Pierce thought he got fouled by Chinelu on the initial opportunity at the basket. Tigers will inbound, baseline left. 19 on the shot clock, trailing by 13. Robinson inbound. And holds and looks. Martin guards the ball. Floats it into the backcourt, run down by Gray. Gray dribbles into the front court to the right side, hands it to Bates. Bates with 15 on the shot clock to the right wing. Trying to break down Clayton, 10 on the shot clock. Handling the ball to the right wing, picked up by Condon to the right elbow. Free throw line, 15-footer, missed it. Got it back, puts it up off the glass and in.
Well done, Tamar Bates. Followed his own shot and got a second look from even closer range.
The lead is 11 for Florida. Into the front court, Clayton had it taken away by Anthony Robinson. 2-on-1 break. Robinson lost it, picked up by Perkins, fouled by Condon. He'll shoot free throws with 19-10 to play. Chance to cut into the 11-point advantages. Clayton got sloppy with the ball.
Yeah, and here you go for Missouri now. A real opportunity with a pair of free throws. Less than a minute into the half, you can shave 4 points from that 13-point deficit and really get yourself started quickly here and right back in it sooner than later.
Condon picks up his first personal foul. Houck to come in. Perkins at the free throw line. He was 8 for 8 last night at the foul line. Makes this free throw. Perkins, season-high 20 points and a season-high 7 rebounds. Condon out. Thomas Houck comes in. Lead is 10 with 19-10 to play. Florida has never trailed in the game. Opened up a 10-0 advantage to begin things. Led by as many as 14. Tigers cut it to 4, 28-24. But Florida led by 13 at the break. The lead is 9. After the second made free throw by Perkins, into the front court comes Clayton. Middle of the floor on the logo. Sliding left side, bounce it. Taken by Richard. Richard guard by Perkins, top of the key. Houck. Bounce it in left block, caught by Chinelu. One dribble middle, jump hook between two defenders, good.
Nice delivery from Houck out top to his man on the low block.
Perkins into the front court for Missouri, who trails by 11. Middle of the floor on the logo, guarded by Will Richard. Handling the ball with the left hand, stepping back towards half court. Trying to set up. Comes behind a Gray pick, now splits the defender. Chinelu gets to the right block, leans in, double teamed, bounce it to Gray, put it up and got fouled by Chinelu. Missed the shot, but he'll shoot free throws where he's 2 of 2 tonight. Ruben Chinelu picks up his second personal foul, and again Missouri down 11 to the free throw line.
Not quite sure how Tony squeezed that pass between two defenders, but he used a bounce to do it to Josh Gray, and now the big fella at the line trying to can a couple more.
Gray wearing number 33 in the black jersey. One black shoe, one white shoe. Both say equity in gold lettering on the back as he misses the foul shot. That one was strong from the Brooklyn native, Josh Gray. Couple of dribbles, the right-hander puts the ball up, left it short, deflected by Bates to the sideline. Last touch by whom? Last touch by Florida, says Jeb Hartness over on the right sideline. So Missouri gets the ball back after the two missed free throws. Trailing 52-41. Aiden Shaw is going to come in. The Kansas City native, along with Caleb Grill, will come in, the native of Wichita. Gray sits down. Trent Pierce sits down. Tigers ball, front of the Missouri bench across the way. About even with the block on the right sideline. Perkins to inbound, holding and looking. Still holding. Throws it outside, leaping grab, right of the logo. Bates, guarded by Houck. Waves Shaw away, wants to try to work on Houck with 15 on the shot clock. To the top of the key with the left hand. Crossover gets right elbow. Step back 15-footer, good. And he got fouled. Bates with the step back 15-footer from the right elbow. Missouri pulls within 9 as Houck picks up the personal foul.
Great work by Bates. As you mentioned, that step back. Houck was backpedaling defensively, as you might expect. And when Bates stepped back, created space, Houck came leaning out toward him, lunging and fouling him on the arm with the basket tomorrow for a three-point opportunity.
Tigers trailing by 9. Bates' free throw cuts the lead to 8 with 18-19 to play. And a little life on the Missouri bench across the way. Again, Tigers cut it to 4 earlier in the first half, but then Florida led by 13 at the break. Missouri has closed that 13-point gap down to 8. Right baseline driving. Martin pushes off. Reverse layup, good. Martin goes reverse, driving Perkins baseline right. Cleared space with his forearm, his left forearm. Was able to throw it over his top of his head and in on the reverse layup.
Strong guard. Gave Tony a little bit of what he often does, using his body to create some space inside. And Martin, a Florida Atlantic transfer, part of that Final Four team recently, 2 years ago.
Elijah Martin's free throw, sorry about that, goes down. 55-44, just like this, the lead back to 11. Perkins guarded by Martin in the backcourt. Handling the ball, coming from right to left, 18 minutes to play. Missouri trails by 11. Bates away from the basket, guarded by Houck. Clears Robinson to clear some space on the left side of the court. Working against Houck to the left elbow. Step back 17-footer, go in and out. Tipped by Perkins, run down by Chinaloo, knocked out of bounds by Aiden Shaw. That thing did everything but go down for Tamar Bates that time.
It was in and out. Tried the same recipe for success against Houck. A little step back, create space, and almost had another one.
Clayton comes into the front court. Florida can extend the 11-point lead. Clayton floats it left side to the bench. Caught by Condon over on the bench, the Australian native. And Missouri gets the ball back on the turnover.
Well, as good as Florida's been, they've been sloppy too. 12 turnovers, and yet they're so prolific offensively in terms of their shooting tonight. They've overcome them and maintained a double-digit lead.
Caleb Grill 2 for 11 last night, 1 of 6 tonight. Robinson to the rim. He slams it down on a left side drive. Tigers cut the lead to 9. Can they get stops defensively? Hanlickton to come in next dead ball for Florida. Clayton on the logo, right side, back to the basket. Houck guarded by Grill. Tries to drive him. Gets to the right side, cut off on the wing. Back to the basket now. Floats it outside. Richard takes it, 10 on the shot clock. Richard, left side, good show by Shaw to the left wing. Picks up the dribble. In the paint, Chinaloo against 2 defenders. Jump hook goes in. Ruben Chinaloo, the Washington State transfer with the jump hook. And the lead back out to 11 for Florida. Perkins comes into the front court for Missouri. Behind a pick from Shaw, gets to the left side to the block. Leans in against Chinaloo. Had it blocked. Tips it, though, to Bates on the left wing. Bates will drive. Jump stop in the paint. Floater put up, missed it. Tipped up and in and out by Aiden Shaw. Again, another basket that almost went down for Missouri. Clayton in transition. Jump stop. Hands it to Houck. Right block. Turnaround good. Fouled by Perkins. Florida can finish on one end. Missouri can't on the offensive end.
Yeah, Gators' last 2 trips have just scored above the Missouri Tigers. It was Chinyelu with a little hook shot the previous time, and here Houck with his height advantage just flipped it up over his head and over the defender Tony Perkins without much resistance.
And the lead back to 13 where it was at the half. Marshall in along with Warwick. Bates sits down, and so does Aiden Shaw. Missouri 22-10, the 7 seed after finishing conference play at 10-8. Florida the 2 seed after finishing the league 14-4. Houck makes the free throw. Florida matches its largest lead, now 14 points. Robinson behind a pick from Marshall, gets to the left side of the lane, to the left block, puts it up off the glass, missed it, rebound Peyton Marshall against 3 defenders, gets fouled as he tried to back down Houck. Martin is going to pick up the personal foul. Second on Elijah Martin.
Well, the Tigers are battling, and some youngsters especially getting some run tonight. Barrett and Marshall in the first half. Marshall hurt again in the second.
Again, playing without Mark Mitchell, who hurt the knee last night. Wanted to play. The coach said no. Middle of the floor. Warwick to the right side of the key against Houck to the right side of the lane. Leans in, put it up left hand, missed it. Rebound pulled down by Perkins. Perkins on the left wing. Beyond 3, working against Richard, handling the ball. Picks up the dribble, throws it outside for Grill. From the logo, 3 goes down. Grill knocks down his first 3 of the night, and Missouri pulls within 8-11. Clayton into the front court, handling the ball. Gets to the left side, knocked away by Robinson. Picked up by Grill, 2-on-1. Bounce it to Perkins, left side to the rim. Scoop it right side, good.
Great.
Tigers cut the lead to 9.
Break by the Tigers. Little wasted energy. 1 dribble, and they were up court between them. Grill and Perkins.
Elijah Martin handling the ball on the logo. Missouri down by 9, 60-51. Richard to the free throw line. To Hanlington for the dunk from the right block.
It's hard for Missouri to contend with that size of Florida. They have really made the Tigers pay inside.
Lead back to 11 with 15:09 to play. Robinson guarded by Martin. Comes to the left side. Good show by Hanlington. Goes around Martin to the left elbow. Again, another good hedge. Top of the key. Grill. Toe raise 3. Wide left. Fouled though by Richard. Caught a tip of the logo, went up, drew the foul. He'll shoot 3, but first the under 16 timeout, which finds Missouri trailing 62-51 on the Central Bank Tiger Network from Learfield.
A message about driving safely from University of Missouri head basketball coach Dennis Gates.
Basketball requires everyone to be responsible teammates. Driving requires the same exact thing. Crashes can be avoided by practicing safe driving habits. Please leave all distractions aside. Once you're behind that wheel, that is your #1 priority. Buckle up, phone down. Slow down, drive sober.
This message is brought to you by the Missouri Coalition for Roadway Safety.
It's game time. As Mizzou Hoops action heats up, there's only one way to cool down: Shock Top Belgian White. So grab your friends and a couple cold ones and toast to the thrill of college basketball. Shock Top Belgian White. Shock your world. This refreshing beer brings a burst of citrus to your glass, making it the perfect choice for cheering on the Mizzou Tigers. Whether you're courtside or couchside, Shock Top Belgian White is a slam dunk for all the nail-biting buzzer beaters and unforgettable alley-oops. Shock Top, official craft beer sponsor of the Missouri Tigers. Please enjoy responsibly. 21 plus, Shock Top Brewing Company, Portland, Oregon.
Today's game is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Insurance for motorcycles, boats, and RVs. For protection on the road and on the water. See how much you can save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com. This is Mizzou basketball from Learfield.
Lexus invites you to experience the thoughtful design. Nice. Exhilarating performance. Whoa. And attention to every detail that makes a Lexus so, well, amazing. Get offers on select models at the Invitation to Lexus sales event, now through March 31st. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Here.
14 minutes, 58 seconds to play. Missouri trailing Florida 62-51, and every time Missouri tries to put together a little bit of a run, the Gators have the answer. Florida shooting 66.7% from the field. Missouri 41%. Tigers 3 of 12 from 3. Gators haven't made a 3 in the second half. 50% though from the three-point line, 7 of 14. Central Bank's your hometown bank. It's the only place for Tiger checking. Open it today, www.tigerchecking.net. The Laborers Union and their contractors are a winning team that together create a foundation worth building on. For more information, visit buildunion.com.
Those shooting numbers are really incredible. You go down the list individually for the Gators. Chinilu, 3 of 3. Clayton, 6 of 8. Richard, 4 of 8. Martin, 3 of 5. Handlockton, 2 of 2. Houck, 3 of 3. Aberdeen, 1 of 1. I mean, they're all having points to their credit. It started early, and it's continued often here after they built that quick 13-point lead in the first 4 minutes of action.
Caleb Grill with a wry smile as he's talking to Elijah Martin, who fouled him from 3. Or actually, Will Richard fouled him from 3. Martin, I guess, didn't think it was a foul. Those two are kind of laughing at each other as Martin continues to talk. First free throw from Grill. Good. Peyton Marshall, Tony Perkins, Marquez Warwick, Ant Robinson, and Caleb Grill, who makes the second of 3 to pull Missouri within 9.
Even on a difficult night for the team, which is by no means over, maybe this can unlock Caleb Grill a bit offensively here. These free throws, these points, these baskets this second half.
Shooters tell you get to the free throw line, it can get you on track. Into the front court. Just inside of half court, Aberdeen, who picked up 3 first half fouls. Martin takes it right side of the key. Top of the key, Houck guarded by Perkins. Houck to the left wing, cut off at the elbow. Top of the key, Handlington. Throws it left side, a rocket caught by Clayton in front of the Florida bench. Left side, Houck, rip through, now drives in the paint. Throws it right corner, open is Aberdeen. Misses the 3, rebound Robinson of Missouri. Chance to cut into the 8-point advantage. Perkins in transition to the free throw line. Right elbow, little teardrop. Dances home, Missouri down 6.
Tony Perkins in double digits now, 11 points again after that big outing last night.
And Walter Clayton is cramping as he grabs his left hamstring. Klabzar will come in, replacing Walter Clayton Jr., who's got 17 points and has not scored in the second half.
2-possession game. Missouri has just battled and hung in there, and I don't know that they've made Florida too uncomfortable just yet, but it's certainly possible here in this second half.
Aberdeen coming from left to right in the front court. The Missouri fans rise, trying to inspire their team on the defensive end. Aberdeen, left side of the key, Houck. Houck sends it right wing. Martin drives, jump stop at the block, challenges Peyton Marshall and lays it in. 64-56. Into the front court comes Perkins, drives Houck into the paint, gets to the left block, turns, bounces right block, Peyton Marshall jams it.
Again, Perkins' ability to pass in traffic and find a teammate again and again.
Peyton Marshall's got 4, his season high and career high 6. Aberdeen, left side between the circles, Houck, right wing for Klabzar. Right wing knocked away from Houck, throws it away, Missouri gets it back. Down 64-58. Condon will come in for Florida. Missouri clawing just a little bit closer after trailing by as many as 14.
Yeah, and 14's the number of turnovers the Gators have committed with nearly 14 minutes left to play, so they may be a 1 seed nationally. They are the 2 seed in the conference tournament. They've got things they can work on.
Robinson takes it, contested by Klabzar off the inbounds. Handling the ball from right to left into the front court. Goes behind his back on the right wing and gets fouled on the drive.
And what's good here for Missouri is the Tigers causing the Gators to rack up the fouls. Florida as a team with 6 second-half fouls and still 13 and a half minutes to play. The Tigers have fouled just twice.
Foul against Klabzar. So Missouri will inbound baseline right. 22 seconds on the shot clock. Now they're going to inbound right sideline. Just to the left of the Missouri bench in front of the scores table across the way. Trailing 64-58. Again, fell behind by 13 in the first half. Cut it to 4. Trailed by 14 or by 13 at the break. They've cut it to 6, and now they've got the ball. Robinson right of the logo, guarded by Martin. Handling the ball. to the right wing, goes around him to the free throw line, into the paint, hanging, puts it up and in, and Missouri cuts the lead to 4.
Closest they've been, Mike, since that early 13-point deficit in the first few minutes.
Cut it to 28-24 late in the first half, but Florida stretched it out to 13. Can Missouri get a stop? Aberdeen on the right side. Half-court line comes to the left side between the circles, guarded by Perkins of Missouri. Behind a Condon screen, picked up by Warwick. Right wing, Clavzar, a 3 on the way. Missed it. Rebound, Hanlington. Hanging, missed it, but a foul against Gray of Missouri. Josh Gray picks up number 3.
Well, the Tigers just have got to be sound defensively. It's so hard against this Florida team with the great guards, the big guys inside. Everybody's got to be on assignment. But if they can just shore up the defense, you just bring the Gators shooting percentage down to 10. You think Missouri's got a real chance here tonight.
Missing the free throw, Micah Hanlington, who's terrible from the foul line since coming back, just 1 of 7 now. Missouri out rebounding Florida by 7, 25-18. Florida leading 64-60. Hanlington's free throw dances in after hitting the back of the rim. Chinalu comes in, Hanlington sits down.
Missouri with a 9-2 run, including that free throw from Hanlington here to get back within 5 points. Again, they've not been closer than 4 really all night since that spurt.
Missouri 5 for 5. 5 of its last 5 from the field. Tip of the logo, Warwick. Guarded by Richard. Behind a Gray screen to the right wing, probing to the elbow, into the paint, scoop it left hand, lost it on the way up, off the front of the rim, rebound pulled down by Florida. Now Richard had it deflected, gets it back inside the front court, hands it outside to Aberdeen, they reset. Florida 65, Missouri 60, 12-18 to play. Aberdeen on the logo, middle of the floor, guarded by Perkins. Behind a screen from Chinalu, good show by Gray. Aberdeen dribbles against Perkins, gets left side of the lane to the block, comes under the basket, picks up the dribble, leans in, a little fadeaway good. Denzel Aberdeen connects from short range from the left block. Florida by 7. Next dead ball, the under 12 timeout is into the front court. Perkins for Missouri. Denzel Aberdeen guarding him. Perkins middle of the floor. On the baseline right for Warwick. Warwick guarded by Chinalu on the switch. Takes him to the right wing behind 3. Tries to break him down off the dribble. Gets to the right elbow into the paint. Left wing Perkins. But on the drive, a foul against Ruben Chinalu will be his 3rd. Takes us to the under 12 timeout. Missouri fighting. Tigers down 7. 11:42 to play on the Central Bank Tiger Network from Learfield.
A message about driving safely from University of Missouri head basketball coach Dennis Gates.
Basketball requires everyone to be responsible teammates. Driving requires the same exact thing. Crashes can be avoided by practicing safe driving habits. Please leave all distractions aside. Once you're behind that wheel, that is your number one priority. Buckle up, phone down. Slow down, drive sober.
This message is brought to you by the Missouri Coalition for Roadway Safety.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're for the people of Missouri, in good times and in bad. We're for Missouri families and Missouri communities. We're for giving back to those communities and lifting people up. And when Missouri weather rips through our state, we're for helping put back the pieces. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and if you live in Missouri, we're for you.
I'm Nick Rector, your Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance agent, and if you're in Boone County, I've got you covered. MIZ.
The most powerful ideas come from understanding. By asking what's important here. At Great Southern Bank, we start by asking our customers to find out how we're doing and what they really need. Then we get to work, making banking easier and more effective, financing more flexible, and our communities better places to live. It's an ongoing team effort to keep improving how we serve our neighbors day after day. And it all starts with understanding what really matters. Learn more at GreatSouthernBank.com. Member FDIC.
11 minutes and 42 seconds to play. Florida 67, Missouri 60. Mizzou Athletics would like to thank its premier partners, MU Healthcare and Shelter Insurance. Remember, you can listen to the SEC all season long on Sirius XM. More homes and businesses are making the switch to Socket Fiber, the most reliable service, simple, transparent pricing. Call 1-800-SOCKET3 or visit socket.net to learn more. And Mizzou basketball. Brought to you by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Well, the Tigers have picked things up offensively. They're now up to 43% from the field. They're not shooting it well from the arc, just 3 of 12, but several Tigers stepping forward here offensively. Tamar Bates, 14 points. Tony Perkins, 11. Anthony Robinson, 9. Caleb Grill is up to 8 points with a strong showing thus far in the second half. 4 apiece for Trent Pierce and Marquez Warwick, along with Peyton Marshall, and a couple for T.O. Barrett, a couple for Jacob Cruz, a couple for Josh Gray. So 11 Tigers have played, 11 Tigers have scored as Missouri's been able to get to the basket against Florida. What is shaping up, Mike, is yet another high-scoring game both ways for Missouri in the Southeastern Conference. 67-60 Gators, nearly 12 minutes still to go.
Missouri 9 consecutive games where they scored at least 80 points. Missouri, when they reached that 80-point plateau on the season, are 19-5 on the season, 17-5 when they make at least 8 threes, and 10-3 when they have the lead at the half, at least in SEC play. Tigers trail by 13 at the half of this game. Chinyelu, Aberdeen, Richard, Klavzar, and Condon on the court for Florida. Walter Clayton Jr. again dealing with cramps. Over on the bench to the free throw line, Marquez Warwick, after Ruben Chinyelu picked up the personal foul, his third. Front end of the one in bonus for the native of Lexington, Kentucky, Marquez Warwick. Was so good in the final game of the regular season against the Cats, off the bench with 17. Knocks down the first. Next one from Marquez Warwick. Made them both. Tigers trailing 67-62. Bench comes to its feet. Aberdeen in the front court from left to right, middle of the floor. Bounces left wing Richard, bumped by Perkins. Looks inside, handling the ball on the left wing. Pivots, free throw line, Chinyelu. High-low gets a left block for Condon against Gray. Top of the key, Klavzar, high-arcing three. Splashes in for Urban Klavzar. The Slovenian native averages just 4 points a game, and he knocks down the three to give Florida an 8-point lead. Grill, middle of the floor on the logo, hands to Robinson, picked up by Condon on the switch. Backs out now to reset. On the logo, middle of the floor. Robinson comes to the left side of the court. Bounces to Perkins, left wing, trying to post against Aberdeen. Trying to back him down, gets left side of the lane, into the paint. Pivots, right side of the key, Robinson to the free throw line. 15-footer off the bounce, good.
Missouri's really getting into the middle of the Gators' defense time and again. The penetration by Perkins, pitches out to Robinson, who's open out front for a good look.
Aberdeen on the left side. Good show by Gray, forcing him to the half-court line, but then he overdid it and picks up his fourth personal foul. The initial move was terrific. Forced the offensive player almost to the half-court line, but then that one extra step. Peyton Marshall's going to come in.
You know, again, though, Missouri is really battling. I mean, this has been an uphill challenge all night, but they're within striking range. And just like last night, Mississippi State was a grind. Guess what? That's what it could be like in the national tournament. The games aren't pretty. They're tough.
Klavzar gets it in. Chinyelu, middle of the floor on the logo. Hands it to Aberdeen. Missouri trailing 70-64. 2-possession game, 10.5 to play. The winner gets either Kentucky or Alabama tomorrow afternoon. Left of the logo, Aberdeen, guarded by Robinson to the left wing, inside the arc, jump stop, ran into his own man, gets the ball back, head and shoulder fake, stripped by Perkins, ball free. Chinyelu falls down, shot clock violation.
Yeah, the hardest hit of the night he may have taken was from his teammate, ran right into a brick wall there, and Chinyelu inside, and Missouri benefits from that as Florida's all out of sorts, in part because of Missouri's defense that trip. And Mike, this game's available. I mean, it is not going to be easy, but it is available for Missouri tonight.
Clayton's going to come back in, 2-possession game. Also, Houck's going to come back in along with Martin. Missouri down 6. They've got the ball. Just about 10 minutes to play. Robinson in the paint. Peyton Marshall mishandles the ball. Fouled by Chinyelu, who picks up number 4. Ruben Chinyelu goes right to Terry Oglesby. Hands out to his side, trying to get an explanation from the veteran official. 10:02 to play. Peyton Marshall gets fouled.
Peyton did not have to put the ball down, but it's a habit so many big guys have. He was big enough and close enough, could have gone up, but he drew the foul and has a pair of free throws.
He's a 28% free throw shooter on the season and has not shot a free throw since non-conference play. His last free throw, I think, was in the bragging rights game against Illinois.
Todd Golden having a lengthy animated discussion with Terry Ogilvie across the way.
First free throw off the front of the rim, tipped by Bates, tipped by Perkins, controlled by Condon, and a foul on Perkins with a reach. So Florida gets the ball back, leading by 6 with 10 minutes to play in the game. Already advancing today, Auburn, the top seed, takes out Ole Miss. Texas sent packing by the Tennessee Volunteers. Florida and Missouri in the third game. Alabama and Kentucky in the fourth game. Clayton comes into the front court from left to right, handling the ball on the logo middle of the floor. Behind a Condon screen, good show by Trent Pierce, now double team. Top of the key, Hauk, left corner for Richard, catch and shoot three. Missed it, rebound tipped by Perkins out of bounds. Just mistimed his jump on the right baseline.
And Richard and Clayton scoreless the second half. They've gone more than 10 minutes without a point between them after scoring 30 of Florida's 50 in the first half.
9:42 to play, 6-point Florida lead, 70-64. Right baseline, throw it outside, caught by Richard, right side between the circles. Shadowed by Perkins, shot clock at 15. Condon top of the key, guarded by Robinson on the switch. Backdoor cut to Martin, lays it up and in. Thomas Hauk just sealed off Pierce and he was able to lay it in. Missouri down by 8. Bates on the right side, handling the ball. Bates fans outside, guarded by Elijah Martin. Behind a grill pick, send it left wing for Perkins. Perkins holds it, guarded by Richard. Back outside to Bates. Bates handling the ball. 13 on the shot clock, picked up by Condon. Gets to the right elbow, turns middle from the free throw line. 10-footer missed it. Rebound, Hauk flies in to get it, then loses it on the way down, picked up by Clayton. Bounce it to Richard, alley-oop for Martin, and Florida leads by 10. Dennis Gates gets a timeout. Gators by 10 on the Central Bank Tiger Network from Learfield.
When the game goes into overtime, but the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Tiger fans, do you like to gamble? Well, gambling's exactly what you're doing if you have your home or business electrical installation done by a contractor who's not qualified, trained, and insured. Don't take the chance. Be safe. Be certain. Use only IBEW contractors to do your electrical work. The stakes are just too high for anything else. You can depend on your hometown IBEW and IBEW contractors.
Today's game is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Insurance for motorcycles, boats, and RVs. For protection on the road and on the water. See how much you can save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com. This is Mizzou basketball from Learfield.
You've been hitting the gym, taking the stairs, and running that extra mile. But did you know that improving your health is also a step toward lower life insurance rates? At SelectQuote, we make sure you're rewarded for your healthy lifestyle. For 40 years, we've helped more than 2 million customers secure over $700 billion in life insurance coverage. And our healthiest customers are covered by the time they hang up with an experienced licensed insurance agent. That's right. Qualifying customers can get up to $5 million in life insurance with no medical exam required. A medical exam can add weeks onto the approval process for life insurance, but our exclusive no medical exam policy ensures you're covered by the time you hang up. Plus, many policies are less than $1 per day. Being fit doesn't just feel good, it pays off. See what you could save on life insurance with SelectQuote. Go to SelectQuote.com for your free quote today. SelectQuote.com. That's SelectQuote.com.
Airport. There sooner, home faster.
Royal Banks of Missouri, banking with them easier than ever. Open an account, manage your finances anytime with their online banking service. Visit royalbanksofmo.com today to open a new personal checking or savings account. Royal Banks of Missouri, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender. The Gators have stretched it back to 10.
And they've done so with some hot shooting that has just continued throughout the game. 27 of 41 is Florida from the field, 66%. This is reminiscent of that game in Norman in terms of the offensive shooting numbers. Now, this is a more talented offensive team than Oklahoma, I believe. Certainly more weapons for the Gators. 44% from three-point range, so they're not quite as hot as OU was that night from the arc, but they are really putting in their shots. And in spite of 15 turnovers, that sizzling shooting has kept the Gators in front all night, currently by 10, 74-64, 9 minutes left to play.
Tigers just 3 of 12 from 3, but out rebounding Florida now by 3, 25-22. It was a 7-point advantage on the boards just moments ago. Union Electrical Contractors, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, the IBEW, partners in quality construction and electrical and communication services. Daniel Anderson is running the show for us back at Learfield in the world headquarters of Learfield, in the city of Jefferson, in the great state of Missouri. Jeremy Washington here courtside with us in Nashville. Tigers with a lineup of Pierce, Bates, Perkins, Robinson, and Caleb Grill. Cruz kind of lingering on the sideline, along with Marcus Allen. Now Cruz will come in. Allen will come in. Perkins. Tigers with 7 on the court right now as Dennis Gates needs to bring somebody off. Pierce is going to come off. Marcus Allen is going to replace Tony Perkins. Now there seems to be confusion on who should be in or who shouldn't be in.
It looked like Coach Gates was talking to a couple of people at the scorer's table across the way, so there is confusion, misunderstanding. Either word works, and Terry Oglesby seems to have had enough now as he's explaining
Bates
to Gates.
is going to come out. Perkins is going to stay at the sideline. So Bates and Pierce out, Cruz and Marcus Allen in, and Marcus Allen did not play last night. He last scored back on February the 12th. in Missouri's win against Oklahoma. Grill, Robinson, Perkins, Cruz, and Marcus Allen. Right of the logo, Robinson, right wing. Bates trying to back down, or Perkins trying to back down Clayton. Gets into the paint. Left wing, Marcus Allen beyond three. Guarded by Condon. 13 on the shot clock. Drives him baseline. Jumps back. Spins middle. Put it up. Blocked by Condon. Pulled down by Perkins. Put it up. Wild miss. Rebound pulled down by Cruz. 4 on the shot clock. Fade away off the glass and in with the left hand. And a foul against Condon as Missouri cuts the lead to 6.
Good hustle, good effort inside by Missouri and Jacob Cruz there against Big Alex Condon. And Condon's had a rough night here, just a point and 5 rebounds. Picks up the foul there. He's all-conference player, but hasn't done a whole lot for the Gators in this particular game.
First field goal for Cruz is a putback, late clock. Try to complete the three-point play as Missouri down by.
At some point, you're like, how does that even, I don't know. I have no answers for you physically. Here's a drive, right lane line for Perkins. On a kick out right of the circle. 3 for Cruz. Too strong. And the rebound yanked down by Chinyelu. Gators coming left to right. Clayton a slow trot into the front court. Under 8 to play. 74-66 Florida the lead. Between the circles, Clayton hooks a pass for Hauk. A high lob hits the rim and the underside of the basket and goes out of bounds.
He was trying to make the right read. It was a nice high-low look, but too much juice on the ball.
This has been one of the most bizarre series of events you'll ever see. 2 lane violations. The ball stuck on the underside of the basket. The partridge and the pear tree will be here later. 7:45 to go. Florida by 8. 74-66 over Mizzou. This is the SEC Radio Network.
The Southeastern Conference. It's the land of legends, the places, the faces, and moments.
And he's going for it. It's a touchdown!
We've seen the confetti fall again and again. But we're not done. It's time for the next generation to make their mark and go from 14 deep to 16 strong. It's a whole new ball game in the SEC, and it just means more.
You're listening to the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament on the SEC Radio Network.
In SEC country, the key to our confidence comes from having a goal.
Cover 3. Ready?
And knowing just how we're going to get there.
8 seconds. It's plenty of time.
So in these pivotal moments, we come together for inspiration and a plan. Financial confidence in SEC country works that way too, when you and your banker get together to create your personal Regions Green Print plan.
I think that'll really work. Thanks.
So let's huddle up, because in an SEC world, we're the SEC Bank. Regions, official bank of the SEC, member FDIC.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
Florida 74, Mizzou 66, 7:45 to go before we hit the stretch run. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. 10 seconds. This is the SEC Radio Network. With Tony Delk, Stephen Hartzell, Tim Bickford, our engineer, Phil Brame. I'm Jason Benetti. Here in Nashville, 7:45 to play. Florida has the lead 74-66. The run and gun first half has turned into a bit more of a grinder here in the second half. If you're Mizzou here, and we know that they've been dedicated to the idea of finding twos, is it as simple as beating people off the dribble to come back in this game?
Yes, it is. When you think about just what they're trying to do and what they have accomplished is getting in the paint, getting easier looks, but give Florida a lot of credit for not taking bad shots. Although they've been trying to get down the court and get easy buckets, they have not taken many bad shots. But I will give Missouri a lot of credit for how they guarded Clayton in the second half. He hasn't scored the second half. Yep. So they paid attention to detail, and they've taken their best player out, and they're making other guys handle the ball, make decisions. But they're not going to let Clayton beat them.
To your point, Clayton hasn't scored in the second half. Neither has Richard. They had 30 at halftime. Right. They got nothing.
And if you're going to beat this Florida team, you can't let all three guards get off. And if you can contain two of them, you have a chance. And even if one goes off, you can't let all three guys maximize their ability to score.
Yeah, even Martin here in the second half, he's got a grand total of 9. He's been the high man in the second half for Florida. Robinson walks it into the front court. Now starts his move, streaking toward the basket, backing in, lost it on the way up, but he is fouled on a reach in for Clayton. So 2 free throws for Anthony Robinson II, who has gotten to the line 131 times, second to Mitchell on this roster. And Mark Mitchell, again, the transfer from Duke, is out today with that knee injury he suffered yesterday.
And what I'm seeing right now by the Missouri guards, they're playing bully basketball.
Yep.
They're telling them, I don't think you can guard us on the other end. So it's great as we're over here talking about or how great the Florida guards have been all season. They feel like we're just as good as they are, and we're going to put the pressure on them. And that's what we're seeing, some back downs, some blow-bys. They're not respecting the defense of the Florida guards.
Yeah, they're playing like they believe they're going to score on every trip, as the free throw is good for Robinson. Anthony Robinson II. Eyes the left side goal, spins the ball in his hand. He fires and scores. Mizzou once again is within 6. 74-68 in the 2-7 game in the quarters here in Nashville. Clayton hits the front court. He's right there between the circles with Robinson. He waves off the screen. He drives anyway. Rises. Can't score. He got hit on the arm, though. It was a late whistle, but it was the right whistle. Looked like Gray got the hand in the cookie jar, and 2 free throws coming. It's the 4th on Gray.
And you have to love the attack of not settling on an open, bad-looking 3. Put his head down, got to the paint, and then, like I said, he can finish through contact. Good foul by Gray, not giving him the easy 2, making him earn it at the foul line.
That might be that pride you're talking about. You're getting beat on the defensive end, like, hey, maybe I can beat you around the corner on the offensive end.
Yeah, you got to take sometimes, as a player, you got to make adjustments without the coach informing you what you need to do. Sometimes you can see it and say, you know what, they're doing it to us, let's do it to them.
Yep. Let me correct myself. That's 5 on Gray, 5 on Josh Gray. He is out. So they've huddled up. Gray is leaving. He's the guy that started for Mitchell. So Gray is done for the day, and that hurts the size for Mizzou.
The size and physicality. He's been physical at the rim. He's been walling up. He's giving hard fouls when need be. He sets hard screens. He is a star in his role.
Clayton at the right end. His foul shot is no good. Tennessee left the door open for Texas late in that second quarterfinal by missing at the foul line. And Clayton will get a second chance here for his first point of the second half. He bends the knees, he fires, and he scores. It's 75-68. Florida with the lead, 7:20 to go.
It's always good to get that first game under your belt. You don't want to play the first game against a team that's already won a game on this floor.
That's the situation Florida finds itself in. Robinson tucks it into the post, back to the basket, baits off the spin, easily blows by Clayton and scores. It's a 5-point game.
As you can see, they feel like they can't guard us off the bounce. Let's just take it down, and we're not going to settle for threes to bail you guys out.
Clayton kind of went limp after that went down. As Martin hits the post, Houck backing in. Cross lane feed and a stuffed two-handed for Condon. Good post play together.
Big to big passing.
77-70, Florida with the lead. Bates puts it in reverse. Shoulder to shoulder into the body of Clayton, who reaches around, dislodges the ball. He got caught in midair and a travel. Boy, Clayton at the last second, a wraparound back tap to create that defensive play.
But also just being able to release and make him lose his balance. That's exactly what happened. But you could tell Bates feel like, I'm going to go at you every time I get the ball.
Yeah, I think he thought he got fouled, too, as Condon has to jump to catch, short corner right. Around the arc it goes for Martin, top of the key. He finds a jumping Clayton. Tough pass to reel in by Condon. He stuck it to his hand, tries to hit a cutting Martin. It ends up on the low left side, and 2 free throws for Houck on the way as that ball just kicked around like one-timers over and over in a hockey.
Just the good passing, the interior pass to one another, guards driving, moving without the basketball, and getting to the foul line. If you're going to be in these tournament games, you just can't rely on shooting threes from the outside. You have to get to, as I call it, the 4th level of scoring is the foul line.
And he's right there, Houck, who's very good at getting to the free throw stripe. He's 81st in the country in free throw rate. So how much he's on the floor compared to how much he gets to the foul line. And Florida now leads by 8. His second shot is in the air and true. It's 79-70. Florida with the lead, 6:10 to play. Does Mizzou have anything left in this gas tank? They'll hit the front court in the clutches of Perkins. High on the right side, driving on Martin. Just tried to whiz by him. Martin held his ground this time, middle of the lane. Out to Robinson, hopping on the dribble, defended by Clayton. Robinson goes right into the chest of Clayton, elevates, left it short. Rebound down low on the right side, and the follow's there for Perkins for 2.
And what we're seeing with Missouri is they've gone small. They're not worried about the rebounds, although they have to box out. They feel like we're quicker. We're going to get our shots. and your bigs can't guard our smalls.
And they're still +3 on the glass for the game, even with all that. Here's Houck in a total scramble wide right of the lane, trying to bounce a pass that got touched up on by Cruz, but ended up with his teammate Richard for Florida. Top of the key three, Condon off the window, no. He smoked the glass, and a rebound foul against Mizzou, and a 1-and-1 coming for the Gators.
So that's what happens when you go small. You can't box out the big. The bigs know right away we just got to get down on the low block, ball bounce. We just got to have position, and you cannot push us out.
That is just the 6th offensive rebound for Florida. Mizzou has 17 tonight against a Florida team that's 8th in the country in offensive rebounding. That's been a big story so far. Houck at the foul line. Takes a breath. Leans back. His 1-and-1 front end is good. 80-72. Florida the lead. 5:15 to play.
It's a good matchup. You look at just two teams that know each other, although they've only played once this season. But I'm sure they watched a lot of film. So you got a feel for who you're going against this late in the season.
Got to see some of each other in their game as well, as Houck's free throw is good. It's 81-72. Florida with the lead. 5:15 to play. And a slow jaw into the front court for Tony Perkins, who traded out his Iowa black and gold for Mizzou. Perkins puts his head down, powers up to pass out between the circles. Here is Bates waving off help. He'll drive on Houck. He'll rise, and it trickles off the rim. Second chance won't fall. Rebound, Florida. It danced off the tin a couple of times, and the Gators have it up by 9.
They had two strong drives in this 2-point blank range layup, but what we're seeing right now is they're searching and hunting the mismatch. That is the team in black, Missouri.
Doing everything to get the shots they want. At the Summit, Martin tosses left. Here's a lob from Houck, low on the left side. It's caught and put up and in by Condon for 2. 4:32 to go. It's 83-72 and a timeout for Florida.
Nice chess match right here. They know they have Missouri has the speed on the other end to go by their 4s and 5s, and then on the other end, they know they have Florida team in white. They know they have the bigs on the inside. So now you saw one of those plays. Just hey, your smaller guy cannot guard my big. He just got to go over his right shoulder, don't use his body, and finish through the contact.
People talk about positionless basketball, and this whole game has been, I mean, the second half, you've said it a bunch, and it's a great call. It's exactly what's going on. Everybody's hunting mismatches.
And you can see both coaches are strategic coaches trying to see who is the weak link on the court. And going down Missouri C, we're going to put Clayton, their best player, who just came back in the game coming off a cramp. We're not going to let him off the hook, and that's what we're seeing on the other end. But Missouri is getting really good shots at the rim. They just got to finish those shots. 2-point blank range layup that would have cut the lead down to 7 points.
Instead, Florida's got an 11-point lead, 83-72. The Gators are threatening to breach 100 tonight in Nashville. As they break the huddle, the Gators will walk to the left end. Mizzou will inbound it with Caleb Grill, the transfer by way of Iowa State to UNLV out of lovely Wichita. There's a chance Mizzou could actually play in his hometown, one of 8 first-round sites, first and second round in Wichita. Mizzou into the front court left. Here is Perkins roaming between the circles. He'll drive left lane boundary, turns his back, rises, and can't score on the rebound. Is yanked down two-handed by Houck for the Gators in white. And finally, they will hit the brake pedal.
There's nothing you can do as a coach. You drew up the right play. 3 shots at the rim. You missed all 3.
Pass by Clayton, knocked back toward him like a boomerang. It ends up with Houck right of the circle. His 3 no good. Rebound snared low on the right by Condon, and he puts it up and in on the welcome mat. He has twice reached out for a basketball that looked like it was outside of his grasp and done a number on it. 85-72 Florida. 3 left of the circle for Grill is cash. 25-footer, come on.
Woo, that was unconscious. He said, we missed too many layups. Let me just pull this 3 right now.
He's like, 3 is better than 2. Math. Into the front court, Florida, and Cruz was tangled with a Gator in the front court. Cruz is looking at his bench. He's got a stern look on the left side. Robinson's trying to slow down that heart rate for Cruz and his headband. And we're going to step aside into our final scheduled break. 3:28 to go, second half. Florida 85, Mizzou 75. Down the stretch we go. When we come back, this is the SEC Radio Network.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we've spent 80-plus years in the business of fun. Expert fishing fun. Early morning hunting fun. Late night, need new cleats before tomorrow morning's game fun. Relaxing fun. Mouth-watering fun. So whatever fun adventure you're gearing up for, you'll find it.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. The one that's watching the SEC tournament with us and hanging out here on Toronto Sports Insider as we raise money for SickKids Hospital. There I am. All right. Finally. Anyways, you get the point. Thanks for hanging out with us and listening to the game. And now that I've got your attention, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you don't miss it for every single game of the SEC tournament live, as well as every game of March Madness live. Thanks for hitting that button, the subscribe button with the bell. Yeah, you got it. Thank you so much, and welcome to our awesome community. We'll see you back in the chat.
Community. SEC basketball is brought to you all week long by Farm Rich, the official frozen snack of the SEC. Grab a snack. Pfizer, the official pneumococcal pneumonia vaccine awareness sponsor of the SEC. And by Sprouts Farmers Market, official healthy grocer of the SEC.
3:28 to go here in the Music City. Florida 85, Mizzou 75. Winner gets either Alabama or Kentucky in the 3-6 coming up about half an hour, 35 minutes after our game. Already Auburn has won today. Tennessee has won. So the 1 and the 4 will play in our first semifinal tomorrow at noon Central Time. And then game number 2 will be either Florida and Mizzou or Kentucky or Alabama. So look, it's 85-75. We've talked about the strategy here, Tony.
Yes.
When you're a team that has trailed for the entirety of the game and you get to a moment like this, what is the most important thing psychologically to tell yourself?
You have to get stops on the other end, not give up threes that could increase the lead. But the problem right now with Missouri is they're small. So anytime Florida drives or miss a shot, their bigs are going to get the offensive rebound. They just got to go straight back up with it. There's no one to stop them. And then on the other end, Missouri's done a great job of getting deep in the paint, but just haven't converted on point-blank range shots.
At some point, that catches up to you on the cover.
Oh, it does. When you miss 3-point-blank range layups, that's the difference in a game being a 10-point lead or a 4-point lead.
Right now it's 10, 85-75 Florida with the advantage. Gators went to the NCAA tournament last year. They got bounced by Eddie Lampkin in Colorado in the first round. They are hopeful that they can make quite the run here as the foul shot is good for Hauk. Thomas Hauk has lived at the foul line once again. He is 10 for 11 at the free throw line. So he's really doing to Mizzou what the Tigers did to the Gators and the rest of the SEC all year as he misses too strong on the foul shot. Rebound again within the grasp of Condon, and he plays it around the arc to slow it down. 14 to shoot. Left of the circle, 3 now in the air for Martin is good, and that might be the dagger. You said it, can't give up threes. There's one, 89-75.
Just an extra pass. He was going to bleed the clock. He saw his teammate open, passed it to him, and he wanted it to knock it down.
On the other end, shot missed, rebound by Hauk, skying over everybody with 2 hands for Florida. Gators slowly walking it up. Clayton into the front court, using the dribble with the right hand, pounding it into the hardwood. He'll 2-hand a pass through Hauk, right back to him. 12 to shoot. Clayton leaning over, ball at his knees. Now off the dribble. Shot fake, kick into the corner, drive from Richard. He rams it down. He revved the engine. He stuffed it home. His first 2 of the second half. And Florida now leads by 16 out of nowhere with 2.5 to go, and a bump and a foul called against Houck, but we'll call that our Allstate good hands, presented by Allstate. You're in good hands with Allstate. A two-hand flush for Richard, who finally got on track.
He did.
You have a big-time guard not score for the entirety of the second half, and another guy in Clayton who hasn't made a field goal yet in the second half, and you've extended your lead? That's scary.
You know what happened is the multiple effort play of the bigs on the inside, getting offensive and interior rebound. And then once you drive from the three-point line, there are no shot blockers back there for Missouri. All their bigs are on the bench. So going small has hurt Missouri when if you're getting to the rim, knocking down shots from outside, it helps the situation. But let's give Florida a lot of credit. They made an adjustment, but also Clayton Jr. hasn't had a turnover in the second half.
Florida, a grand total of 16 turnovers, but most of those in the first half. It's a foul shot, no good. The second one swirls out as well, and the rebound secured two-handed by Houck, and Florida might be putting this in the deep freeze. 91-75, 2:20 to go. Suddenly, this has become a little bit of a boat race out of nowhere. Jump past Clayton to Houck.
Well, now you're just going to take time off the shot clock. That's what you're doing. Shot clock as well as the clock, and take your time. There's no one can stop them on the inside. Turn, finish over the left shoulder.
As you were saying that, Condon was like, I want points. He had his shirt halfway up his back with an arm bar from the defender. He still put it up and in. Grill, long-range three from Memphis, no good. Rebound down low on the left. Here is Allen digging for space. He'll put it up and through with the left hand, and Mizzou back on the board at 93-77 Florida. 1:42 to go. The Gators have swashbuckled through a deep Mizzou team playing without Mark Mitchell. Here's a UCLA cut from Houck. He'll skip it the far side, and two for Richard. Cross lane feed from Houck to Richard. Houck has played massive minutes in the second half.
Houck has been great, just showing you he is more than just a defensive rebounder. He can put it on the floor. He can make plays. And just a smart player. High basketball IQ.
Cruz layup is good, and a timeout for Mizzou. 95-79, 1:19 to play. Houck tonight has 16 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. He's 10 for 12 from the free throw line, and it's a dimension that Florida really has used with Mizzou's lineup as they've presented it. Houck has been so important, right, because Mizzou's played small.
Yeah, Houck has done everything you wanted from a player at his position. Like you said, rebounding, getting assists, getting to the foul line. He's done everything for his team. So when we say a player needs to be a star in his role, we know about the guards. We know about Rich. We know about Clayton Jr. We know about Mark. When you can get inside and interior scoring, that's going to be the difference maker, because as many shots you want to make from the outside, you need something at the basket, and they have an inside threat now.
Houck in the first meeting in that Mizzou win, 83-82 at the O'Connell Center, Houck drew 7 fouls in that game, so he lived at the free throw line 15 minutes. He drew 7 fouls in the first meeting. He has been a real matchup problem for Mizzou.
He's aggressive when you have bigs that are not used to being on the perimeter, so he takes full advantage of guys that close out to him, because he can make the three from the outside. So at the big, you're thinking he's a three-point shooter, but you have to make the adjustment, and when you make the adjustment to close out, that's when he drives to the basket. And once he gets downhill, he's hard to stop.
We mentioned his grandfather was a football player way back in the day. His dad, Ryan, was a football player at Shippensburg. That's where he and Thomas's mom met, at Shippensburg. Jennifer was a volleyball player. Dad, Ryan, was a football player. And you know, you get 2 athlete parents, you're probably going to be good at something.
I think so. It creates toughness, but it gives you a great feel of being an athlete. So when your 2 parents are, you have no other choice but to be.
And it's worked out very well. There's a kick ball by Aiden Shaw. So Florida will keep it. 1:12 to go. 72 seconds remaining. Florida 95-79. They are threatening 100 points. We'll see if they take enough shots to get there. It's a trap at the midline. Clayton roaming into the front court. He works through a second trap and gets it for Martin, who we're told may join us postgame. Elijah Martin, the transfer from FAU. Dip it into the corner. Right corner three in the air. Richard, that's too strong. Rebound. Houck went up for it, and he tapped it to a teammate. Houck got two hands on it. It kicked away from his grasp. He still set up a teammate, and Houck leans into a screen. He is feeling his oats right now as Clayton probes the lane. Kicks it out, Houck. He'll spin it quickly. Richard, right wing shot in the air. No dice. Rebound down low on the right side. Condon misses the shot at the welcome mat. And here comes Mizzou into the front court. Martin called for a foul. We won't ask about that postgame. 95-79, Florida the lead. 30.7 to go.
It's been a fast-paced game. It slowed down a little bit to start the second half, but when you have good guards that can get downhill and make plays, it's the difference in the game. And this Florida team, they want to score a lot of points. They're not happy with scoring in the 50s and 60s.
No, there's a little Steve Spurrier in this Florida Gators team. You know, like, we're up 10, but why not 16?
Let's stretch the lead.
Free throws no good. Isaiah Brown checks into the game late to a round of applause that's meant for both him and the exiting senior guards. So 30.7 to go. 95-79 Florida with the lead by 16. We're being told that it's great to be a Florida Gator by some singing folks. Free throw is good.
They've had a good season. They have been solid all season long.
4 losses all year as they will slow it down against this Mizzou defense. A game effort for Mizzou without Mark Mitchell, their leading scorer, out with a knee injury. He did not play here as they'll rocket a pass near side right. Klaujar poking toward the elbow. 9 seconds to go. Down to 8 seconds. He'll split a double team. They're still working for a 3. It's going to be Aberdeen from the wing who hucks it up. No good. And the rebound foul against Condon, who looks behind him at Courtney Green with 0.6 to go, as if to say, really? He went over the top of Sanchez, who will go to the free throw line. 0.6 to go. 95-80 Florida the lead. The nominees are in for most pointless foul of the tournament. The envelope, please. But Sanchez, there's something good that comes from it, and it's that this young man will go to the foul line and get a chance to score here in the SEC tournament. The free throw is no good. So the Gators fans now believe in basketball karma more than they ever have. He dribbles twice. He pushes it up, and good. You like to see that.
Yes, of course.
95-81. Final score as the horn goes off. The Gators go to the semifinals of the SEC tournament. They led 10-0. They led throughout. The Gators take down Mizzou by 14 in the 2-7 game. That was a thorough effort from the Gators starters and their bench.
Yeah, they came out aggressive early. They made plays. They made threes from the outside. And then Missouri made an adjustment, but too much firepower for the Florida Gators from the backcourt, as well as getting offensive rebounds and scoring on the inside.
Florida wins game number 28 of its season already. They could go in the NCAA tournament with a 30-piece on the board.
Yes. Very, very capable because of the style, having the guards that can score from the outside. And then, like you said, just understanding what it takes to win games in March.
Yep. Todd Golden brought San Francisco to the NCAA tournament late in his tenure there in his final season after 3 years. They lost in overtime to another mid-major, Murray State, but Florida gets there last year. That Colorado team played so well in the Pac-12 tournament. They ran, Florida did, into a buzzsaw there. But the Gators right now feel primed to make a very deep run in the NCAA tournament, and we'll just see what the draw looks like.
Yeah.
But at this point, quite a few people have them as a 1 seed staying in the South in Raleigh. There do not happen to be a lot of southern sites in the first and second round.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of a limitation on where you can send a protected SEC team.
Right.
But with Duke having that 1 seed all but locked up in Raleigh, you would imagine Florida would show up there. Lexington would have Auburn. But Elijah Martin is coming over to join us post-game, a transfer from FAU, and he has a headset on. Elijah Martin, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having me.
Congratulations. Who is best at the alley-oop on this team? Because everybody does it.
Are you talking about like throwing or finishing?
You did both today.
Yeah. I got to say Walter and Alex Condon, yeah.
You guys are so deep. What is it like to play with a group that has so many different skill sets?
You know, it's less stressful. You know, no matter what time of night, we got a guy that's for it. You know, whoever night it is, anybody's going to step up.
Lonzo, playing in these games is the first game. Do you have any nerves when you come into the very first game of the NCAA tournament?
Any nerves? No. I wouldn't say any nerves, but, you know, it's basketball and everything is, like, new at this point. So just want to take it game by game and enjoy the moment.
What is the ceiling for this team?
I don't think it is a ceiling. We still getting better every day. We still got things that we need to improve on, and that's what we're more focused on.
What do you got to improve on? You just won by, you put up 95.
Obviously guarding the ball. You know, they ISO'd us the last 20 minutes, and we gotta get better at moving our feet.
Elijah, thank you so much for doing this.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Congratulations. That's Elijah Martin for the Florida Gators. Big day for him. Big day for Florida. 17 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds as well. So we're wrapped up here from courtside. 95-81 final score. Florida over Mizzou. Tony, always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Looking forward to tomorrow. Should be 2 more exciting games for the SEC tournament.
It absolutely will be. 95-81 your final score. Stephen Hartzell's got scores for you and highlights from this game. This is the SEC Radio Network.
Sonic Radio. It's time for my favorite segment, Ask the CIO. Hey, caller, you're on.
Hi, a big fan. I used to think I could never love another burger more than my favorite. Then I tried the Sonic Smasher. With its tangy smasher sauce, melty cheese, and hand-smashed Angus patties seared to crispy perfection. How do I tell my favorite burger it's been replaced?
Easy. You don't. It's a burger. It has no feelings.
Sonic Smasher. Try it as a double or triple. Live free, eat Sonic. See menu for details.
At Sprouts Farmers Market, we're all about fresh, healthy, and delicious. Every shopping trip is an adventure, with new and ahead-of-the-trend products hitting the shelves every month. From the latest mouth-watering vegan and gluten-free cookies to yummy plant-based protein bars, there's always something new to explore. Plus, find more than 2,800 Sprouts brand items filled with incredible flavor and better-for-you ingredients. Visit your neighborhood Sprouts today, the official grocer of the Southeastern Conference.
Live from Nashville, this is the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament on the SEC Radio Network.
Cheers, basketball fans. Who are you rooting for today in this matchup? Well, get loud in the chat, cheer them on, and hang out with a bunch of people from all over the world. And while we're doing that, the main reason is this SickKids Hospital and Toronto Sports Insider Bracket Mania campaign that is now live. It is underway. Please check the link that is in the description as well as pinned in the chat. And donate if you are able. If not, please share it out. We are going to raise, the goal is at least $100,000 for SickKids Hospital from now until a champion is crowned at the Final Four. We'll see you back in the chat. Go, whichever team it is you're going for. Go Gators.
Now for the postgame show, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, official luxury vehicle of the SEC. Stats, analysis, a full game recap, and more are coming up. Once again, let's go live inside Bridgestone Arena in Nashville.
All right, we're between games here in the evening session. First quarterfinal of the evening session is in the books. Florida 95, Missouri 81. And we're getting ready for Kentucky and Alabama in quarterfinal number 2. Pleased to be joined live courtside from Bridgestone Arena with SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey. Commissioner, appreciate the time as always. Quick quick mental health check? We're 11 games in to 3 days. How are we holding up?
Well, not only that, but I had a presidents and chancellors meeting on Tuesday and Wednesday, so at that. I've been told there are only 2 games planned for tomorrow. I'm not sure that's true, but that sounds like a part-time gig at this point in the week, right?
Yeah, it certainly does. So let's talk about Sunday. This league is on the verge of something special, and historic Selection Sunday on deck. The record is 11 from the Big East in 2011. The Southeastern Conference is staring at 13 and, dare I say, 14 teams?
I've never said anything less than 14 since mid-January. In my office, as we were looking at things out of non-conference, I said we only talk about the expectation of 14. And I think 14 have earned that. I think what we've seen over the season, this is an entirety of a season matter. And even in this week and last week, we've got 14 teams in a very tight competitive league that merit consideration and involvement in the NCAA tournament. And all 14 can make a run.
We've sat here before and talked about how the SEC can get to this point, Commissioner. What do you think in terms of league initiatives? Was it schools investing? Was it a commitment to facilities? Was it something that the league was mandating, tougher strength of schedule in the non-conference? How did we get here? Because it didn't just happen.
It did not. So the first thing we needed to do is understand our status. And in 2016, we had 3 teams selected to the NCAA men's basketball tournament in March of 2016. That was the end of my first year of being commissioner. And that was a low point for me because that's not at all what our expectations, what's represented by our expectations. But if you go back to the preceding 10 years, so 2006 to 2015, can't show a graphic on the radio, so I'll describe it. We had 3 occasions during that time period with only 3 teams selected. And we had 2 others. So half of that decade, half of that 10 years, we only had 3 or 4 teams in the NCAA tournament. That's a trend line, plus the 2016. And so we were honest about where we were. My view is we weren't talking about the right issues, the right things in our meetings. And so that was the second step. What were our problems? We didn't have continuity of coaches. We had some coaches who were wonderful people, but moved into jobs after kind of short tenures and quick runs with a couple of wins in the NCAA tournament, which could give a false impression. And then they're coming in with Billy Donovan and Kevin Stallings and Bruce Pearl. Tough to compete. I think next we had an APR, an academic progress measurement problem, which is an NCAA lingo word, but that really locked in our rosters where people didn't know how to adjust. And then from scheduling, we talked so much about the RPI, and we didn't talk about the substantive issues in my mind. Like, how do we have a better non-conference schedule? Yeah, we talked about it, and we did some estimations. We didn't compare it to others with the kind of depth that we needed and understanding how we schedule intelligently. And then you look, and I have in front of me all of our top 14 teams, quad 1, quad 2 wins. Auburn has 21 quad 1, quad 2 wins. 21. 25 total games. That's the toughest schedule in America. Florida next has 17 quad 1 and quad 2 wins. And you go all the way down. I've heard this comparison of some of the other teams that are on the bubble that have like 1 quad 1 win. LSU has 2 quad 1 wins, and they're not even in consideration. And I think winning and scheduling difficult games and winning is supposed to be rewarded. And I think we've set ourselves up for great success, given that this is a historic year. There hasn't been a league to have the kind of non-conference success we've had since 1983-84 when I was a college sophomore.
I'm going to let you go on this one. It's funny you bring up your college years. And again, we're between games. We're getting ready for the second quarterfinal with Kentucky and Alabama here in the evening session. I know how you're going to watch the selection show tomorrow on TV like everybody else. Do you romanticize Selection Sunday a little bit? I know fully grown adults who still print out the bracket, sharpen the pencil, and fill it out as we go along. But what's that going to be like for you tomorrow?
It will be with a heavy level of anticipation to see if we can not just break a record, but shatter a record in a way that never may be touched again. So I have high expectations. And we've, in our office, never talked about less than 14 since mid-January. Literally, I've forbidden the notion that we're saying we're going to have 11 or 12. And then you want to see where, and we actually communicated this week, hey, doesn't matter where you're seated, where your site is, you're going to have an opponent, respect them, and then go play. That's the focus. We need to bring a new level of focus and preparation. And so I'll be anticipating those games, and then we figure out where as a staff we go. I was a high school basketball coach at one time in my career.
I saw you getting shots up earlier in the week, Commissioner. You still got it.
It's been a while, but I thought I'd do this. And every year when I have the chance to go to these games, I always take a moment to appreciate that the young me never would have imagined sitting behind a bench with some of the greatest coaches in America in March Madness, watching young men compete. And I'll get to go with our women's teams as well. We'll have 10 women's teams. We have 10 of the top 31 in the women's basketball net, and we host the Sweet 16 Elite 8 in Birmingham. So we've got great opportunities ahead at a time when everybody pays attention and we can advance our universities and see our teams. I really, after Selection Sunday, I think of the 85 Final Four when the Big East had 3 of the 4 in Lexington, of all places, and the 2 teams of Villanova and Georgetown in that championship game. And that's a little bit high for an expectation, but you can always dream, right?
Yeah, you've always been ambitious. Commissioner Greg Sankey, appreciate the time as always. Enjoy the nightcap here. It's Friday in Nashville. It's a town that knows how to have a good time, and we look forward to Alabama and Kentucky. Commissioner, thank you so much. Appreciate the time. There you go. We're back with more in Nashville after this on the SEC Radio Network.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm the valet at the game, and I'm as tight on cash as this lot is on space. So I'm going to park your way too big truck in this way too small spot. And if you don't have the right auto insurance, this might leave you crunched for cash. So get Allstate, save money, and get protected from mayhem like me. Who's next?
Savings vary based on coverage selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You're listening to the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament.
Wants to try another 3. He'll make another 3.
On the SEC Radio Network.
In SEC country, the key to our confidence comes from having a goal.
Number 3, ready?
And knowing just how we're going to get there.
8 seconds, it's plenty of time.
So in these pivotal moments, we come together for inspiration and a plan. Financial confidence in SEC country works that way too when you and your banker get together to create your personal Regions Green Print plan.
I think that'll really work. Thanks.
So let's huddle up, because in an SEC world, we're the SEC Bank. Regions, official bank of the SEC. Member FDIC.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, price lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
Listening to coverage of the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament on the SEC Radio Network.
Going to try to take it coast to coast for the finger roll. Lobs it and nails it at the buzzer. Oh, wow.
The SEC Men's Basketball Tournament is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there. Allstate, you're in good hands with Allstate. By Bush's. Bush's Chili Magic makes chili magically fast. Just chop, drop, chili. By Farm Rich, the official frozen snack of the SEC. Grab a snack. Gatorade, the official sports drink of the SEC. Gatorade, it fuels the best because it is the best. Mercedes-Benz, official luxury vehicle of the SEC. By Pfizer, the official pneumococcal pneumonia vaccine awareness sponsor of the SEC. By Regions, official bank of the SEC. The Sonic Smasher. Live free. Eat Sonic. Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the SEC. Sprouts Farmers Market, official healthy grocer of the SEC. And by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. Time for the Johnsonville pregame show. Johnsonville, reminding everyone to keep it fun, keep it together, and keep it juicy. Now let's go live inside Bridgestone Arena in Nashville.
All right, we are about 15 minutes away from our fourth and final quarterfinal of the day. It features the 3-seed Alabama Crimson Tide and the 6-seed Kentucky Wildcats, both the Tide and Cats finishing up some pregame warm-ups in front of our broadcast location. We just got done watching Florida take care of Missouri by a final score of 95-81. We owe you the T-Mobile play of the game. Lot to choose from because the Gators offense was absolutely cooking. We chose this one from the second half.
14 to shoot. Left of the circle. 3 now in the air for Martin is good. And that might be the dagger. You said it. Can't give up threes. There's one. 89-75.
Just an extra pass. He was going to bleed the clock. He saw his teammate open, passed it to him, and he wanted it to knock it down.
As called by our crew of Jason Benetti and Tony Delk, Elijah Martin with the three-point dagger. Florida's offense was just sizzling tonight. 95-81, they get the win. Martin had 17, but it was Walter Clayton Jr. with a team-high 18 points to lead the Gators in scoring. Florida, as a team, shot 61% from the floor. They were on fire in the first half and put up 50 points in that first half before cruising to a 95-81 lead. So there is our T-Mobile play of the game, brought to you by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. Now for our player of the game, we went with Walter Clayton. As you heard, he led all scorers with 18 points. That is our Bush's player of the game, brought to you by Bush's Chili Magic, which makes chili magically fast. Just chop, drop, chili. Florida dropped Missouri in the quarterfinal round. Gators move on to the semifinals. They will get the winner of Alabama and Kentucky coming up. And we're back to Nashville in 2 minutes here on the SEC Radio Network.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we've spent 80-plus years in the business of fun. Expert fishing fun. Early morning hunting fun. Late night, need new cleats before tomorrow morning's game fun. Relaxing fun. Mouth-watering fun. So whatever fun adventure you're gearing up for, you'll find it for less at Academy Sports and Outdoors and at academy.com.
We know that sport has the power to change lives on and off the field. But today, the majority of kids in the U.S. are no longer playing sports. As the leader in fueling athletes, Gatorade is committed to helping reverse this